I'm not sure what year. How could it have a 1903?
No, if I might, that 1903 paper
on,
rest is probably an addition from a repair technician further down the line.
okay.
Old stock is tended to be used in newer machines.
So they would just use the old stuff that they had.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So anyways, that was my find.
Wow.
Yeah, I was pretty excited. And they had a lot of typewriters in this antique mall, but they were
Really? That's cool.
they were terrible. They were just all messed up. And this one, when you type on it, it's just like, I mean, it doesn't move. I mean, it's awesome. It's just like so solid.
And you got it in Missouri? Where were you?
I got it in Missouri, yeah, at the antique mall in South County Mall.
South County Mall? Okay.
South County Antique Mall.
Good for you.
So it was awesome. Yeah. So
yeah, that's a 40s model. I've got a similar model that I dressed up for the Austin Typewriters Inc. Christmas thing last year. So yeah, they're really good models. It's nice to have that wide carriage so you can run folders through there and type on the folders.
Well, I think you could even write since I have letters to write that I owe people, maybe I could put 2 letters in there and type on one, go to the next one, type that one, and do 2 at a time, right? To catch up.
You could run a big piece of paper through there. I need to get it. It's in the house. William wrote me this wonderful letter.
You got it, did you?
The kids are just dying laughing about this letter, William. So I have it all over the house because the kids are reading different parts of it, just laughing their keisters off. And so I had to explain to them, this is what happens when you're born and raised in England and moved to Canada. Like, this is great wit. You know, this is real non-American wit. Thank you so much. And I feel like I should put clown shoes on to read this letter. I'm just so, so I've got my Magnatype out ready to respond to you. Similar 6 CPI, but oh my gosh, I love it. The letter was, I don't even know, it was like 10 by 18 paper, 6
11 by 17.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I just
6 CPI.
The kids are and they just love the wit. They love all the comedy on there and all the good stuff. So thank you very much, William. I can't thank you enough, sir.
Wow. So it's a big letter, huh?
I got to have a great phone call yesterday with this very innovative young man named Lucas Dahl. And the fact that he's young has nothing to do with anything. Because he's quite brilliant and genius when it comes to these machines. So I got him to agree to come on to our Sunday morning here. So it's good to see you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, Lucas, I believe I used to see you on the original portable typewriter forum that was on Yahoo.
Yes. Was it called Typewriter Talk?
The present one is. Yeah, I see you on there. I'm the one who calls myself Skywatcher.
Oh, I think I might have seen you around.
Yes.
Yes. Now, that was a long time ago.
Around.
It was, yeah.
William used to wrench on motorcycles. Then he wrenched on typewriters for a long time. He's just our kind of guy. So.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, I wrenched on farm tractors and combine harvesters for 15 years.
That's a long time.
At a John Deere dealership. Well, I'll be turning 60 on April 19th, so I've got some years ahead of you, my boy.
Yeah. Well, happy early birthday.
And Lucas, since we're talking to you, did you just want to do a brief intro since you're new to the stream?
Well, sure. I'm Lucas Duell. I've been repairing typewriters for maybe about 7 years. I'm in the Chicago area, and things really picked up the past couple of years. So I've been really busy with all the typewriter repair work, and I've recently started branching off into the IBM Selectrics because I feel like there's a market there with all the businesses that are around here that use them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've been focusing mainly on the repairs, but I do have a small collection of my own machines.
And how many is small?
9 maybe.
Okay, yeah.
It grew from 3. So
yeah.
Trying to keep it reasonable because I don't keep machines that I don't use.
Okay. That's how in a way, that's how it should be. But then, you want to try everything. So it's hard to do that.
Which is why I fix typewriters. I think the highlight of my job is getting to use them.
Very good.
The testing, the really long 3 weeks of testing. It sits on my desk and I show it off to everybody.
So, Lucas, are you out of school or are you out of college or university? Or...
No, I'm in college right now, so I'm kind of trying to juggle this whole school thing with the repairs.
Mm-hmm. And what are you
Yeah.
taking?
I am going for an associate's degree right now, associates in arts, because there's only 2 programs offered by my school, and that one has no math. So I'm gonna go for that one, and probably some sort of degree in entrepreneurship or business.
Cool, right on. Get all the education you can while you're young.
Yes,
Okay?
yeah, trying to do that.
Time and money invested in education is never wasted, because you've got that under your belt. You can carry it with you the rest of your life. A good education is a whole set of tools for your later life.
Yes, I think so too.
Well, and Lucas still lives at home. He just operates his little
Yes.
repair business in his parents' garage. I mean, that's the way to do it. I wish I was that smart. I wish I could still live at home. And I think
Let's make things a lot
We
easier
all
for sure.
thought you did.
he's really doing it up. He does some really good stuff on TikTok as well. He's got a great TikTok channel where he goes through and says, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I've got this on this machine, and that. He makes some wonderful videos. So I'm really excited to see that grow in popularity. I think it's the best TikTok available, and I just got on TikTok a month or 2 ago maybe, and he's the only typewriter person I really enjoy following, because he does these great in-depth videos. And so if you're on TikTok, feel free to look up Lucas's TikTok. I know my son looked you up yesterday. He was really excited to watch you go through and
Oh,
clean.
well, thank you. It's good to hear that.
Yeah.
That's the thing about a new platform is, you get a hold of a new generation and you can introduce them to this kind of stuff that they haven't really seen before. And just another way to throw it out there for the future.
Very good. So is there a typewriter community on TikTok?
There is not. There's a
Not
bunch of people who kind of use them because they think they're kind of neat and cool. And then there's maybe 3 techs, myself, Bob's on there, and Jack from Tampa Typewriter.
Okay.
Jack's last post was he was covered in he was hauling hoses across the yard, and he looks at the phone and says, I've got hose. I mean, it was
Okay, so Jack doesn't really post typewriter related content on TikTok, but you can kind of stretch the imagination there and say that, yeah, he does do that, but not on this platform.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got hose. Look at me. Oh my gosh. That guy cracked me up.
He is something else.
He is. Of course,
Hi,
Lucas
Bill.
is on there playing
Oh, yeah.
guitar with cards. So
Yes.
cards with guitars to make them make noise. Pretty good.
Which side of Chicago do you live on?
The suburbs, kind of western suburbs by Naperville.
Oh, okay. Because I'm in Wisconsin with a senior writer that needs a lot of repair. I don't know if you do torpedoes.
I'll do anything. If it puts a letter on a page, I'll fix it. You've yet to have a problem.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, no, Lucas is very talented in that regard. I've seen his work, and he's one heck of a fast typer as well. So
Well, thank you, Bob.
yeah, I look forward to competing with Lucas someday on who can type faster. So
Oh boy.
Oh, that'll be fun.
some year and have a good typing test. I'll probably get my butt kicked, but it would be a fun time.
Want me to go easy on you and bring like a 1930s Royal P?
Right. There you go. I'll bring an electric and I'll still lose.
You can use my IBM.
Very good.
Hmm.
Now, since we are live now, Brenda, did you want to show us the stuff you procured again?
Please
Oh, you want to see all my money?
start with the story. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I know I don't remember the girl's name. The one week that said the universe was talking to her. So she had to listen. And I kind of do that too, where I have like, there's a Manchester Road over here where I live, and that's where all the like hobby stores and there's a thrift store. So sometimes I tell my husband, well, Manchester was calling me today, so I had to go to the store. And then I always find stuff that I was looking for. So the same thing was happening with the antique store. And I kept telling myself, you're not going to go to the store because you don't need another typewriter. You're not going. Stop it. And then I was like, no, you're going to go, because if you don't go, you're just going to do this yourself till you go. So I walk into the thing, and there's this, I probably shouldn't say because I don't want to come and take my money away. But so there's a whole big like booth just packed like double road of books. And there's this kids that Artemis Fowl. I don't know if you guys ever heard that book series, like young
Yes.
adult.
Yes.
So it was a
Yeah.
similar looking series, and I picked up one of the first books out of it, and I just flipped through it for some reason. I don't know why, because I wasn't reading what I was looking at. I was just flipping through it. And then like 2 books away was the second series. So I flipped it open and I see this wad of, money all balled up, and I'm like, oh my God, I hurried up and grabbed it and stuck it in my pocket. And I thought, what the hell's going on? So I thought, well, I'm not going to sit here and go through all these books. I think it was just the kid probably got the book, I'm thinking for his birthday, got some money, stuck it in the book, put it on the shelf and thought, whatever. And here you go, $75. And I thought, okay, well, my typewriter is going to be free today if I find one. And then I found this personal typing, thing. I carried
That's
around for a little
wonderful.
while and put it back, and then I got it back again. But anyway, so then I was, like the last, way back in the store, I found this Underwood, and it was $45.
Wow.
Then when you go up to the desk and you say, can I get a better price? They'll say, oh, well, I can do 10%. So, so then anyways, what I was saying before is they have this, it was a government typewriter because it's got this, so I knew it was going to be a better shape than if it was, I think, someone that owned it at home or whatever. But yeah, it says property, U.S. government. It's got a number 19986, Missouri WPA. So when I saw that, I thought, I got to get this thing. And then when I was cleaning it yesterday and the day before, that's when I found the rest that the type R sit on. It says August 18, 1903. So got a number 1. Yeah. What's that?
Very interesting machine. I was in Milwaukee a few summers ago and found a Royal desktop that also had a government logo on it.
Really? Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So
I
Brenda,
have
one quick
Yes.
question. Do US banknotes have the date of production on them? Like, can you figure out how long those banknotes have been there?
well, how long what's been there?
Do US banknotes have the date of issue printed
They
on
have the
them?
year,
Yeah.
just the year.
So could you have looked at those banknotes and figured out how long they've been there?
Oh, are you talking about the in the
The money you found in the book.
money? Oh, I don't know.
Should be on the front
Serial
face by
number on
the
the money?
portrait.
Geez, I have no idea.
By the portrait, a little bit lower on the front face. Should be an issue year.
It says there's 2009, 2006,
Okay.
2004.
Okay,
Um,
so not that old then.
2006, and the 10 looks like it's one of the newer. It's a 2006. So yeah.
It's just that once I picked up a book in an antique bookstore and it had a I think it had about 1952 Canadian $2 bill on it.
Ooh,
Wow.
if that was an American $2 bill, you'd have something worthwhile.
Yes.
I've got some $2 bills. My husband always gets those from the bank. He likes to give them
Yeah.
to the kids or something. I'm like,
Yeah, they're cool.
then he likes to use them at the store, and the people look at him like he's crazy. Like, this isn't real money. Like, yeah, it is. It's a
I
$2
found a
bill.
British pound in a book, and I want to say it's from like the 60s or 70s. Just the £1 note, which is pretty neat. Which is very common for people to put money in books. I mean, I've done it myself.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, my grandpa, I guess he kind of suspected, the end was coming. So he just randomly placed money in a variety of books in the house, knowing that when he was gone, my grandma was gonna, find the money. And I just thought that was like an amazing thing that he did. That
Yeah, my Jaja, he did the same kind of thing, I think. So when he died, that's my grandpa, because I'm Polish, so I call him Jaja. But when he died, he had stacks of like books or magazines. So, you know, they were doing the same thing. Make sure you go through all these magazines, because he could have put $5 or, you know, and he could have hid the money in the stuff. So I don't know if they ever found anything, but yeah, that's kind of not a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you found money in typewriters?
Oh, wow.
Have you?
Never.
I found,
Sometimes I find coins, but you know, I know
Okay.
people who found cash in there.
Found feathers.
I just found a toothbrush.
I found the little, in this one, I found a tiny little, you know, the squares you use to correction squares down inside there. That was the only good thing I got on, which is not good, but.
I have a little collection going of stuff that I find. You know, not always ask the customer if they want it back.
Yeah. Very
Okay.
good. Uh,
Good
Yes.
morning, Brian.
yes.
Brian,
How are you,
good.
Brian?
Did you get my letter yet?
Mute. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
But I have gotten several letters, and it's been very nice.
Good.
I appreciate everybody who wrote. I'm working on writing back, but I've got a big stack.
And don't worry about that. Mine came with a get well card with a picture of Garfield hanging on the screen on the front of it.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, it's on its way.
Great. I'll look forward to that. Thank you.
And Brian, I got your letter. I loved it because I have one of those. Oh, what do you call them? The typewriters that draw with the pen.
Right.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun getting that.
Yeah. The quality continues to degrade over the course of the letter, but it was interesting because it faults in a way that only that typewriter does.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you could tell sometimes how the pen was dragging where it shouldn't be, but it had this really cool effect to it, so I loved it.
Cool. I'm glad. Thank you for writing to me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I saw Koa in the back there.
Yes, he's here.
Very good. Richard, how are you?
Hey, I'm all right. How are you doing?
Very good, very
Good
good.
morning, Richard.
Yeah.
I just saw Richard's YouTube video where the whole thing is not being able to connect with people. That was really, really interesting video.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I'm not sure which one you mean.
Oh, you were supposed to like do a question and answer with the group, and they kept not being able to hear you, and you couldn't hear them, and it was like the whole thing. And I thought, wow. I don't know who posted it.
Perils of technology.
Exactly. And Joe, look at you outside.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everybody.
Oh,
It's
nice.
a balmy spring-like morning, and I got the old Hermes 3000 out here on the patio.
nice.
So,
Mhm.
yep, enjoy the weather while it's nice.
Good
Yeah.
job, Joe.
Exactly. Well, it's 26 degrees Fahrenheit here this morning,
Ah.
-5 Celsius.
Wow. Where are you located exactly? Where are you?
Who do you talk to?
Where are you located where it's that cold?
Oh, up in Canada, southern Alberta, up in the Great White North.
That explains it then.
Yeah, it does.
Cold.
Very good. Yeah.
I've always admired Richard's royal FPs that he has. He has one in a brushed finish and another greenish one, I think. Yeah, very great. I tried to get my hands on a yellow one a couple of years ago, but was never able to get it.
Oh.
Colors that they offer there, they're great. They're good machines.
I'll bring them up here so people can get a better view.
Very good. Very good.
All
Yeah.
right, lug the old FPs up, Richard. Thank you, sir. He's gonna be
Try
like,
not to
"Oh,
hurt my back.
we got some." That's great.
Oh, I'm being spotlighted, I see. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this one was just gray. Kind of boring, totally boring. And so I removed the paint, polished the metal as much as I could, tried to get it to a mirror finish, although that isn't strictly possible with aluminum, I think. And then the keys, I think the keys came from like a 40s Underwood. You can tell they're not typical Royal FP keys.
Yeah.
Is it a very interesting look? Did you strip the paint or just sand it?
What did I do? I used this wire brush attachment on a drill, and then all sorts of things like fine steel wool and successively finer sheets of sandpaper. So the best way to get it to look really super smooth is sandpaper, where you just use finer and finer and finer sandpaper and keep on going, and it's never perfect, but comes out pretty well.
The way to do it. Did you put a clear coat on there?
Typewriters. No, it just has some wax.
Oh, looks very nice.
I like that look. Yeah, definitely. Because those Royal FPs can look a little bland in the regular color, you know. So I like that a lot. Yeah.
It looks like the robot from The Day the Earth Stood Still, or whatever, one of those science fiction things from the 50s.
Yeah. I know some of you guys have seen my Underwood Electric, where I did a similar thing.
Yeah.
So I was just admiring that in the background.
Nice.
I think with the glass keys, those stripped finishes look really nice.
Very industrial.
Yes. Yes. Very good.
I'll get the other FP.
Okay.
Yeah, I still got that great FP, Gregory, that you gave me. I was rocking it the other day. It's got that 30-inch carriage or something. So I have to clear out the furniture and the children in the house to use it, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. Slowly but surely getting it going. I used it to return a few pen pal letters. So
very good.
Yeah, it's a fun one. I'm really enjoying it. But
good. I'm glad that's working out.
Yeah. It's a similar gray, but I like that. I like that finish too. So.
Now you'll be tempted to strip it down.
Right. At least most of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Didn't you strip down that magnetite machine?
Oh yeah. I've got a magnetite. I stripped all the paint just off the body, not the top, because the paint was just so bad on the body. It had been exposed. Yeah, I like that. Just stripping it down. But I'll have to add a coat of wax. Richard's got the right idea with the coat of wax on that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that green.
That green is so lovely.
Yeah. So this one was $10 on eBay.
Oh my goodness.
And it was advertised as not working, but I had to get it because of this label on the side.
FPS. What typeface is this machine?
Yeah, Patrician Elite, whatever that is. So I didn't know what that was. So I got it, and the escapement was broken, so it was a difficult repair, but I did get it fixed. And then the typeface is really very unusual. It's a little robot-y, but it does have serifs, and it's not quite as square as the usual robot fonts. So I'll type a little bit and show you guys.
Yeah,
the typewriter was $10, but the shipping was $110.
Yeah, right.
And it's quiet too.
Comes with the Zoom mute.
Yes.
I think Zoom kind of filters out typewriter sound.
It does, yeah.
Looks like it operates really smoothly, though.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get you to, I don't know, can you make that out?
A little bit. Can you get a little bit closer?
Let me get it out of the machine.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Oh yeah, there we go. Ooh, I like that.
It's nice. I love the scent.
Kind of interesting. I like the @ sign.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice and squared.
The thing about typefaces is there's generally just one or two characters that are super, super unique. I got this Hammond's type shuttle, and it's just the normal Hammond's typeface, but the 2 and the 3 have a little extra spiral curl at the end. And I've never seen that anywhere else before.
Neat.
Do you guys suppose that the Zoom folks have some kind of special algorithm so that it intentionally drowns out the typewriters They don't want it
Of
cutting
course.
into their business, you
Not
know?
Yeah,
always.
of course.
Not always.
Yeah. Seems a little obvious to me.
Just natural compression. Yeah, they put a compressor on there.
You're taking the fun out of it, Bob. Come on.
Play with us here. Go along with us.
Conspiracy theorists.
Oh, that's
How
great.
are you?
I like the typeface.
So, Mill, did you get my letter?
I did, and
Good.
there's one on its way back to you.
Yes, I got that one too.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
The
Oh, actually,
one
there's
about-
another one on its way back to you.
Oh, letter number 3.
Yes. Yeah, it takes yours a while to get here, I guess. So
Yes, it
but
does.
mine must make their way up there more quickly, surprisingly. So,
Quite often is the case, yes.
but yes, I did. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And Bill, I got a second letter from you, and thank you so much for your generosity. You know, it's above and beyond, but much appreciated.
Yeah, that was the doing of the center. I had nothing to do with
yeah.
that, Gregory. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, it pass on my regards to the center.
okay, I will do.
So we do have a couple of typing prompts today. Now, I'll preface this by saying I've done neither.
Me too.
What a coinky dink.
Well, it goes like this. Yesterday morning, I got the vaccine, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Yay.
And I had to go to work like right after that. I was fine all through work. And once I got home, I just crashed and
Yeah.
I felt completely and utterly exhausted, a little sore, and still my head feels a little funny, almost like I have a head cold, like my ears feel a little plugged up. And, but other than that, I feel great. However, I did not do my typing prompts. So
Demerits.
yeah, so but I'm glad I got that done. I'm glad it was the one and done Johnson & Johnson. So
I would like that one. Yeah.
Now, being new here, what are these typing prompts that you do?
yeah, every week we have a typing prompt. For example, this week our 2 typing prompts were letter to the editor and your typewriter collector rules, like rules for collecting. Because last week, Sarah Van Allen went through a list of rules that she came up when she very first started collecting, and she read them to us. And we just had the best time listening to the list. So we decided to add that as an alternate typing prompt for this week. And of course, it was a lot of stuff, rules that she had established for herself, but very quickly broke. So
Yeah, I'm sure that happens to everybody here.
yeah. So basically, the typing prompts are, it's just a fallback conversation piece, and to get us using our typewriters. So 1 week we had typing up your grocery list, either real or fictional, and we got a little creative with that. That was a lot of fun. A love letter to your typewriter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, so it's just a fun thing to do. We used to have themes or topics for each episode or stream, and I felt those were kind of running dry. So we switched over to these typing prompts, which again I stole the idea from Joe Van Cleve. So
It's a very good
It's always
idea.
safe to steal from Joe.
yeah,
He's got all the best stuff.
and he
got
gets a
bad lawyers.
he gets a commission from every episode.
Oh,
No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I
Free
don't.
ribbons.
Does anyone have a typing prompt that they would like to share?
I have a typing prompt. Yeah, my typewriter collecting rules.
Nice,
I
excellent.
have one rule. I only buy machines in either working order or with problems I know I can fix. And that's the only rule.
Oh, wow. Short but sweet.
I mean, everything else is either a suggestion, not a rule, or based on experience, that I know certain kinds of machines I may not like, but as far as a hard and fast rule, that's really it, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
short and sweet. So now I'm going to work on the second typing prompt, the letter to the editor.
Very good.
And this is going to be a screed.
You're
Now-
using a Hermes 3000?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I never
This is
got
the,
the whole thing about those. I had one and I gave it away. Didn't strike me as anything terribly special.
It's a cult, and you have to be able to. It's the cult.
I
of
guess I
Hermes.
just don't respect the cult.
Yeah, exactly. No, I've had two of these. I have the 1970s plastic boxy version made in France,
Yeah.
and I have this early 60s, Swiss made. And they're good machines, but they have a particular touch or feel to them that you either like or you don't like. I find they're a little bit, for me, they're a little bit nicer than the Olivetti touch. Some of the Olivettis, not all of them, but some of them can be really mushy, and they're not quite as snappy as a Olympia, for instance. But they're sort of in between an Olympia and an Olivetti is kind of the way I feel about them.
I have
Yeah, I
a
can see that.
love-hate. I have a love-hate relationship with them. I picked one up for $30 in Georgia. I drove to get it because it was on, I think it was on one of the social media sites. And I was like, okay, $30. I'm going to go get this machine. I don't care if I'm driving all day. I'll listen to an audiobook. So I go and I pick it up and I bring it home. And the machine is like kind of scuffed in a few places. And I got really frustrated because I couldn't match a nail polish to it. So like I wanted to fix the scuffs, right? So I'm trying to like blend colors to like find just the right color to match the machine. So I shelved it. And then through Providence, I've acquired 4 more. And I pulled one down recently to write a letter because I was going to be writing in bed. And I needed a substantial machine that I could sit on my lap and type, right? And the Hermes 3000 was the only one that was like really big enough to kind of handle just sitting up in bed with. And I typed a letter on it and I really liked the way that it felt. And I'm typically like an Olivetti or an Olympia fan. But I really like the way that Hermes felt to just sit down and type a proper letter. So I think I'll probably use them more, but still not my favorite. And I still can't match nail polish to it.
Wow. Well, so you have 5. That's not the way I was expecting that to go.
I also have a Hermes 2000.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have one of those too.
And a
I need
Hermes baby
repair.
and a Hermes rocket. Anyway.
I don't know if I've
match-
ever seen a nicer typeface than Techno Pica,
Yeah.
though. I mean,
Yeah.
that is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the techno.
Well, it sounds like you are an inadvertent member of the cult of Hermes. You have 5 of them, but you don't like them yet.
Yeah, I have commitment issues with cults.
I have a color match for you.
Oh,
It's called Time is Money, THYME is money. I think it's a Sally something or other.
Yes, there's a post on that on Facebook.
Exactly, yes. But it's
I'm
an
not
exact
on
match
the
for the
Facebook.
Hermes green.
Oh, in a fingernail polish, you mean?
Yes.
Oh,
well, I recently saw all the spring colors are on sale. So I bought everything that was close to it and a white. And I started playing and I thought if I just add a little gray to this, it will match. So I'm getting closer in kind of formulating my own.
Oh, you're making your own. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have actually seen bottles of Hermes touch-up paint on eBay. So you can buy it
Ah.
already mixed. Now, as far as my history with the Hermes 3000 goes, my late mother-in-law was a pastor's assistant, helping a pastor in Europe, and she spoke fluent French. And when she passed away, my father-in-law gifted me with her Hermes typewriter that she had been given by the Chicago Missionary Supply in Illinois. And so that's why that one has a special meaning to me, because that also was the second typewriter I ever had.
Aw.
So it's yeah, sentimental reasons, if nothing else.
Yeah, I've got a Hermes 3000, but I keep it hidden away, so I don't get to see it very much. It's
How come?
Oh, cool.
Sits on my desk.
Ah,
The later ones, yeah, that's the one I had. I had the green keys on it. Though.
Yeah, this is the 68 to 70, I think.
I like
Yeah.
that version a lot.
Yeah.
me too.
I don't like green, so I would go for.
Let's see.
I had the first generation very briefly, and I
Oh,
agree
wow.
with. Oh, cool.
You have a
Yeah.
legitimate typewriter desk.
Yeah. My goodness.
That works out nicely.
Yep.
But Joe's assessment of its fitting in between a Olivetti and Olympia's, I hadn't thought of that before, but that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I haven't really had any problems with liking the Hermes 3000. I like them, right? I think I have more problems with the Olivetti. Like I have this Studio 45, this turquoise blue that I'm really trying to force myself to like, but the touch is so, well, it's not snappy. It's
typing on a trampoline.
Yeah, it is. And it also has a little bit of letter ghosting, like almost like the type bars are double striking, maybe because of the hard platen. So that kind of exacerbates the touch problems. But yeah, I really don't. I want to like it, really. I want to like it because it just looks so cool. But when I sit down to it, it's just frustrating, especially when I've been using my Royal KMM lately, and it's just such a wonderful typing experience. A KMM is, and you go to this Olivetti, and it's like, I guess if I was stuck on a desert island or something, and that was the only machine, you would learn to like it. But you know,
Yeah,
I had
that's
the
how
same issue.
that's how the Valentines are too. I think same thing. It looks really nice, but when you go to use it, it's like, oh, why are you like this? It's just
Yeah.
not.
I
Oh,
always
I don't know.
loved the design
Great.
of the Olivettis.
Yeah.
I think they're beautiful, beautiful machines, but they're just not pleasant to type on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Remington Starfire is like that. It looks real pretty, but it's terrible to type on.
yeah,
But for some people, they're great. You know,
Yes.
that's what's so interesting to me. You know, it's like so many other things in life, I suppose. The fact that we're all so different, and I kind of fall along the same lines. Probably my least used machine is my Latera 32. For that same, just the feel of it, you know. Love the design, which is what attracted me, you know, to go out and find one. But I find it interesting that there are so many people that actually list that machine or any, you know, Olivetti for that matter, as their top pick. And so that always fascinates me.
Are we all admitting to Olivetti hate?
No.
No, I've kept mine. If I really
can't
didn't.
give up.
Right here, and they can hear you.
I think typewriters for me are like, I feel bad because I feel like they're the underdog, and that there's still something about them that is useful. But yeah, I
They're
think,
very utilitarian.
yeah, I mean, I like them, but I think the Olivetti is, I don't know if I think I have to adapt how I use it to get it to work better. Because it seems like when I first got it, it was really, I thought, this is terrible. But then when I tried it again, I think I wrote you a letter, Joe, with it, and it was actually acting better. So I think maybe it's just I need to use it more.
I'm reminded of a quote from Orwell's Animal Farm. All typewriters are equal, just some are more equal than others. You know,
True.
we don't hate any typewriter, but we like some better than others.
Some are
I hate
better.
the memory keepers.
Yes, except the memory keepers. Yeah.
I started off my journey into typewriters, typing and everything with, I first learned to type on my father's Olivetti Latera 22 way back in India. And so I first got a typewriter maybe around about 2000 from one of my professors at the University of Michigan. She had a 1964 Latera 32, which was just sitting in her basement. So she gave it to me and I've been using it. And I seem to have gotten used to the way that Olivetti's work. And Nowadays, I use Olivetti's and SM9 and Olympia SF. I do like the SM9, but I seem to prefer the touch of the Olivetti, and maybe it's because it was my first typewriter. I just seem to like it.
I had a client who used an Olivetti. He purchased it new. I think it was a 35 in the 80s and has used it every day since and absolutely loves it. Now, there's a specific touch that appeals to everybody individually.
Well, it's like with fountain pens. Well, I kind of repair fountain pens and smooth nibs. Yep. And all that.
Cool.
So I do that for friends. I don't do it commercially or anything like that. And so I get together every Saturday with my friends and we fool around with pens and all that. And it's everybody, different pens, it's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yes.
I've been into
Different
fountain pens
sizes.
for a while.
Yeah.
Literally, different strokes for different folks.
Okay. Is Richard still here? Because I have actually one of his
sorry.
machines back there.
Also, if one thinks
what
of
do
a
you have?
typewriter like a stick shift vehicle, every vehicle handles differently, and you have to adjust your driving habit to get the most out of the vehicle. So
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
It is true.
So, like I had a 1987 Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. I could make that thing just sing. My wife always had trouble timing the clutch and the gas pedal, so there's always a jerk in between every shift.
Yeah, I had a 2000 Ford Ranger with a manual transmission, and that was probably the nicest stick shift vehicle I've ever owned. The clutch was nice and firm, but not too firm, and the shifter had a really smooth gait to it. It wasn't like those old Ford trucks from the 70s. But it got in an accident, and the insurance company totaled it, and we couldn't get another Ford Ranger with a stick shift after that. But I have this little Mazda 2. That's a nice little car. It's probably the most reliable car I've ever owned. But the clutch is so soft, you can't even feel when it grabs. You know, it has a really light spring on it. So if you're wearing like work boots, driving to work in heavy boots, you can't even feel the clutch. You know,
The clutch, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now,
a typewriter that I really hate. And I was wondering if you guys, I was going to put it on the database, and I don't have any idea where to put it. If you don't mind looking at it for a second here.
I have no idea how to upload to the database.
Yeah, so it's a friend of mine. Her dad had this one. It says, El Dorado, but I don't think it's a Royal.
No.
It's
it's a Silver Seiko, maybe.
I think it's an ITC.
ITC. Huh.
It just says this on the back.
No, it is a Silver Seiko.
It's a Silver Seiko. Yeah. So it could be like the Royal Mercury, kind of like that kind of a.
That is weird.
Looks cheap.
It's a horrible thing to type on.
Okay, I can see it. I believe I can see the serial number just behind the space bar on the base there.
Do you think? Let's see.
A what number?
The serial number just behind the space bar.
Right.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
580-616.
And El Dorado is the only marking on it as far as maker or model?
Yeah, that's all I can find.
If only there were a place we could look it up.
Well, I'm going to have to create a new category for it, which I'm going to do right now.
Is it going to be called generic?
Machines we love to hate.
Cheap Japanese something or other.
I have to say, I kind of like the look of the keys, though.
Yeah,
They look like Valentine keys.
it's he was South American, so he's got
the Enya.
Spanish
They
keyboard
look
with
like
the
gravel squares.
Yeah, that's true.
Looks very much like
Gravel typewriter.
late 70s, early 80s. See, early 80s, I'd say.
So anyway, that's my big mystery for the week.
Well, you don't need to be mysterious anymore because I'm just putting it in the database as a category.
Oh,
Oh, would
good.
you look at that, the way things work.
We're going to call it a silver Seiko.
Okay, I'll get her in there before I return it to my friend.
And it's South American, you said it came from?
No, it's Japanese, made in Japan.
Well, I mean, where the brand came from.
I'd assume
You're
the machine was made for
No.
the market down South America.
Yes.
Yeah.
My friend's father was South American.
Okay.
So
But-
is that Portuguese or Spanish, do you think, the
It was
keyboard?
Spanish.
Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
With
just say it was created for the South American market. Just out of
With the N tilde and the inverted question mark and exclamation mark, that's usually Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay, it's in.
Excellent.
There's
So-
the one interesting thing that the Spanish language does is when you start a question, you have the inverted question mark, so you know that a question is starting. Whereas English, you read on question mark. Oh, I guess that was a question before it.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
English, you change the order of the words when you're asking a question, but in Spanish, you don't. It's all based on the intonation. So you need a marker in text.
Ah,
Yes, that makes sense. I never got into other languages, but I've been hunting down a Hangul layout typewriter, which is a little bit tricky to find here in the States.
Which layout?
Hangul, like the Korean alphabet.
Oh,
Yes. And the interesting thing about that is Underwood opened up a factory in Seoul in, I want to say 1935, 1937. And I've only seen 2 machines that they've produced. An Underwood Universal or a Champion that is in the museum, and an Underwood Model 5. But other than that, I've never seen another machine. Or at least made by Underwood from, before World War II.
I never heard that. That's fascinating.
So there is a TV show. So I kind of branded my little repair business as Typewriter Chicago because I can't use Chicago Typewriter since that's a South Korean TV show that features that exact Underwood 5. So, watch the first episode and you'll see just these amazing cinematic shots of this Korea and Underwood 5. It's just a one-of-a-kind machine. And Richard, I actually have one of your machines on my back shelf here. I'll see if I can move over towards it. I don't know if you remember having this one. It's in for repairs at the moment. So 1901 Williams 4. And I just got my invoice from JJ Short, so I should be getting the rubber platen back for it, and it'll be good to go.
Fantastic. Does it still have a broken foot?
Yes, I will be putting a new one on there.
Great.
and Lucas, there was a question in the YouTube chat for you from Wolverine 3660 asking what your TikTok channel is.
It's Type Tech, all one word.
Okay. That's
Thank
easy.
you.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I've been trying to post like repair videos and stuff on YouTube as well. I got like
Excellent.
3 kind of things on there.
Yeah, we definitely need more people posting videos on YouTube, whether it's repair or just talking about typewriters or just, physically typing,
Yes.
what have you.
Yeah.
So the more the merrier.
Well, I got some nice videos of the Williams 1 typing on there. And to be honest, I've only ever seen 2 other people use that machine. I'm surprised. It doesn't type that well, but it's a very nice machine to use. And not a whole lot of people do it.
Wow. Excellent. Does anyone else have a typing prompt?
Did one.
Okay.
I did the rules for collecting typewriters.
Ooh, interesting.
So number 1, buy anything under $30. Number 2, oh, and by the way, I'm typing on this Princess 200, which I recently acquired. I drove a few hours to meet with a cousin who had this machine and wanted to give it to me. So this typewriter has the German keyboard. And so every time I type the word anything, it's any NZ thing. So in my mind,
You will remember the rules.
I'm hearing it with a German accent, yes. So the number 2 is buy anything that types in script. Number 3 is buy anything that types with special characters. Number 4 is buy anything pretty. Number 5 is buy anything tiny. Number 6 is buy anything cute. Number 7 is don't worry, Bob will fix it. And number 8 is buy anything you want.
So basically, buy every typewriter you see.
Yeah.
Not every
No rules.
want, right? Yeah, I have this really weird thing when I'm buying typewriters. Like, I can look at a picture of a typewriter and I can go, I got a feeling about this one. And usually, if I go pick it up or I go look at it, there's something special about it. So I have kind of this typewriter sixth sense.
Wow, that's very lucky for you. I can't. It took me like years to find an Elite machine. Just standard Elite. It's so dry over here. There's nothing.
Wow.
Lucas, where are you at right now?
In the Chicago suburbs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and of the common machines you can't find, they're just really expensive.
Yeah.
Someone's called Goofy Game in the chat says, did you buy a working typewriter or did you repair a vintage non-working typewriter? They're a beginning typer. My first typewriter was a working typewriter, but it needed a ribbon. It was an Olympia. And I think, I would, for a first one, I would buy a working typewriter.
I would as well.
Yes. Yeah.
My first typewriter took 2 years to repair. That's how I learned everything.
Ouch.
It's painful.
It was.
Yeah. If you are just a beginning typewriter, it might cost a little more, but get a properly serviced typewriter so that you don't have a bad experience.
Yes.
My first experience of typing was back in 81, 82. My mum bought me an old black Underwood, which didn't type very well, and I never did like it, so I never really got into typing.
Yeah, that's very important. I think the conventional idea about typewriters is that they're inconvenient and they don't really work well. And for most intents and purposes, when you get a good working machine, that's just not the case.
Very true, Lucas. It's because that's the same rap that fountain pens have. People say,
absolutely,
they're pretty, but they don't work.
Because they don't know how to use them well.
Yep.
Wait, there's user error?
Yes.
Sorry.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, my first experience with broad nib it did not go well, and unfortunately I made a video of it and posted the video.
Oh, so everybody saw.
Yeah, showing how inept I was in fountain pens. I was just using it like a normal pen, and I didn't stop to think that it was intended more for calligraphy style writing. So once I discovered that, I was like, oh, this works really well.
Now, it might be an unpopular opinion, but the best nib I have ever used is just the cheap Pilot Fine. And I've never used a smoother nib. I mean, I've used $700 Parker fountain pens, and they just don't write as nice.
Wow.
Pilot always seems to be very, very good quality and everything they make.
Exceptional.
I mean, their inks and everything. Yeah.
Pilot things are like Nikon or Canon cameras, and like they work right out of the box and they work perfectly, as opposed to you might spend lots of money buying a fancy fountain pen. Most of the time you have to take it to someone like, the nib mice.
Yeah, they get the nibs ground and stuff, and I don't get that. Like, why would you invest money into a product that's not all the way there yet?
Exactly.
Well, I think what it's happened that pen companies are have figured out that most people buy pens mostly to use as pocket jewelry, and very few people actually write with them. And it's and the people who write with them fool with their pens, adjust them and all that, but they the vast majority of the market consists of people who buy things for pocket jewelry. That's why you find people spending all these money for Mont Blanc pens, and then they have it in their pockets. And in fact, I do know someone who carries 2 Mont Blanc pens, which he has never inked. He just has the pens with him. He's an Indian guy, kind of newly rich. He made his millions in the IT business. So, he wears his.
Such a shame.
Yeah, along with his fancy Swiss watches and all that. It's yeah, that's what it is. But
I
again,
don't
like I
understand
said,
why
different
people need
strokes
that.
for different folks. So
Yeah.
at least I can say that it's because of people like that buying up all the limited edition pens and this and that, that the pen companies are still in business and selling pens that that I can afford.
Yeah, I guess the same thing is true with, the film industry. You mentioned Canon and Nikon. And, I've solely used Nikon for a very long time. And I've noticed their equipment becoming more and more expensive, especially in the used market.
Yes. I'm
Well,
looking
these-
for a
yeah.
Nikon FM3A camera, and on eBay, the only one that seemed to be available are the one that they sell from Japan, and they want you to start the bidding at, say, about $650 and up.
I know, it's crazy. I mean, 4 years ago, that would have been like a $20 camera.
Yes.
No?
Probably Leica cameras if you want to see crazy.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
I've used Leicas, and I gotta say, I don't think they're that great. I have a Nikon F3, and I've used it daily for like 3 years. I mean, it's just the best camera I've ever used.
That anything this is why I think typewriters prices are gonna, continue to just go up and up and up, because the things that they don't make anymore, as more people take an interest, there will be those that will come in and will pay considerably more than others will.
Yes.
And that will drive the market up overall.
What we need
So
for typewriters is more celebrity endorsements.
Huh.
I mean,
Yes.
that's what's going on with the camera industry right now. The cheap point and shoots, the contacts. People are talking about that on the Tonight Show, and the prices are skyrocketing.
It's like I have a oh shoot, what is it? It's a Yashica T4 Super that I got back when the camera was new, and because some fashion photographer like to use those at parties or something, they now a camera that was new for like $180 that may not work any longer sells for 500 plus. That it's an all plastic camera. But when you mentioned like the special edition fountain pens and so forth, that made me think of the Leica cameras. And
Yeah.
but with typewriters, that aside from I don't know, I'm not familiar with is it called We Are something or other?
Yeah, the memory.
Yeah, memory
It's been
keepers.
rebranded as the
I
Royal
mean,
Classic.
there really isn't anything out there, and so I just have a feeling that the prices are going to go up dramatically on these machines within the next couple of years. I mean, I think they have quite a bit just in the 6 months that
They
I've been
have,
paying attention,
yes.
but I think that's just the tip of the iceberg after watching what's happened with film cameras over the past 10 years or so. And
Or even in the
they-
past 4.
yeah.
Well, I was looking at eBay yesterday for Olympia SFs, that particular model. The Olympia SF, I got 2 of them. One I had purchased off of eBay. It was completely working and all that. And I paid $30 for it and $20 in shipping. So for a total of $50, I got it. All it needed was a new typewriter ribbon. That's about it. $50, and there were quite a few of other at that price point. And then yesterday I was looking again through eBay, and I was absolutely surprised to see people starting off their bidding at $455, $400, and people were bidding on it too.
Yeah, and I think you got to notice that these are also as-is machines. There's nothing that's been done to them.
Yeah.
That's why I always recommend, if you have a a longtime professional typewriter repairer, typewriter shop in your area, it's worth to spend the money and buy one of his repaired machines. Like in Albuquerque here, we have John Lewis, and the typical machine that he's selling is around $300 and goes up from there. But it's been, torn down to the last part almost and serviced properly. And you could spend the same amount of money on a junker from eBay and not know what you're getting, or you could get a machine that is in great order and is also supporting this guy's business, right? You're helping keep him in business. Yeah. And you're buying into 50 years of experience when you buy a typewriter from a guy like that.
Yep, that is very important. Whether it be fountain pens or typewriters, or if you're into fine guitars, whatever, it's best to go to a person who knows what they're doing instead of
another person talking about guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a deep rabbit hole.
Oh, wait, but before we get on that tangent, we were talking about cameras a minute ago. So one of my favorite cameras.
Ooh, let's take a look.
Kyocera.
Yeah.
That is something that I've never seen before.
Yeah. A friend of mine in Japan has a collection of digital cameras from the early 2000s, late 90s. And I actually bought this from her.
That is really
something.
cool.
It's very nice.
Very unique.
Yeah.
My very first camera was a Kodak C613 from like 2005. And I used that forever. And it was surprisingly a good camera, and it still is. Some of those early 2000s digitals were pretty good.
Yeah, I had a Sony, it was like DCS S90. It was a little point and shoot. And the thing that was kind of cool about it is, it had a built-in zoom lens, but the optical viewfinder would zoom as the lens would,
right?
Which was really cool. It was a good little street photography camera, actually.
My biggest problem with the early digital cameras was shutter lag.
Yeah,
it was a little bit slow. Yeah, I do remember my Kodak being really slow, but as a little kid, I didn't really care about it.
Yeah.
I don't have any of my cameras with me right now, but I got two Nikon F3s, and I recently purchased a digital Nikon. Yeah, I take photos and videos of my typewriters.
If there's anybody interested in old cameras, I've got tons. My dad collected cameras.
Oh,
they're sitting in bins in the basement.
I am more than interested. You can hit me up for that.
Give her your address.
Like a ton of
art. Your door in like 15 minutes.
If we're talking early 2000s cameras, I've got a nice collection of Cybershot DSC F707s.
My God.
For the
this guy's got like
capability.
A triple camera setup here.
Yeah.
That's Ted. That's Ted.
He's pro.
So I don't know if anybody knows about these, but these have excellent infrared capabilities. And so with like a long nanometer lens, you can actually take infrared photography with them.
Oh, wow.
Without having to modify them at all. They're very, very neat that way. And they've got really nice Carl Zeiss lenses on them.
Yeah. Zeiss is amazing. That is one big lens on there.
Yeah.
I have one of the last Olympus super zoom cameras, actually. They went out, they stopped making cameras very recently.
Yep.
But that thing was like a 1200 millimeter lens on a point and shoot.
Yeah.
It's like this long.
This is how Mr. Monk finds all the serial numbers on the typewriters with infrared cameras, apparently.
There you go.
For his typewriter database.
Yeah, I just went through a phase where I was into IR photography, and I found that these things were cheap, super cheap in thrift stores. You can get them for like $30 for a whole kit.
They're very interesting. Have you tried infrared film? No, there's only 2 stocks available, but there used to be more.
I think I wasn't ever able to get the film. And then there's the problem with focusing. So,
yes, most older lenses have the IR focus dot on there, so you can estimate
so
it.
you can do that, but I just like digital better. I don't want to deal with the film.
That's the thing about me, and that's kind of why I like typewriters. Is there's a physical manual process. You're actually doing something.
Oh, well, when I do film, I do it all with Caffeinol. I just
Really?
go in my bathroom and develop. Yeah, I'll shoot old C41 or black and white film, whichever, and basically just develop it in caffeine and vitamin C.
Yeah, I've been considering doing that. I just figured the grain structure might be a little bit more intense, but then
It's
again,
super
I
grainy.
use D76.
Yeah, it's super grainy, but it's a lot
Desirable
of fun.
for some.
Yeah,
I've been
don't
playing
care.
around with this guy.
Ooh, those TLRs are beautiful cameras.
Yeah, and
Mm.
I've got all sorts of lenses and stuff like that.
Wow,
For
that is
but
beautiful.
the film and the processing is really expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm
You have to
probably
do
going
it
to get rid
yourself.
of this.
It is expensive, and if you do it yourself, it's $1.50 a roll. If you get it processed, it's like $20.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
And if you
so-
if you do caffeinol, it doubles as an energy drink when you're done.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if
Well-
you dump it down the sink.
I'm enamored with the thought of doing this a lot, but the practicality it's really heavy too. You put this on your neck and it's like, I don't know. But I'm going to play with it a little bit longer and then I'll probably get rid of the set. I've got, I don't know, half a dozen lenses that go with it.
Lynn, for your developing your film, do what I do. I have gone and made friends with folks from the local camera club, and a couple of those gentlemen have their own dark room. So I pay them for a little bit for the expense of the chemical and so on.
Yeah,
Then
and I've done the same
one-
thing with my dark room. Is you source out that you can develop film for people. They'll pay for your chemistry. It's cheaper
Yeah.
than going to the 1 hour photo courses.
to go to, and then you do that, and they even print things out for me. It works out a lot cheaper than sending it to a professional lab. And
Yeah.
anyways, around here in Ann Arbor, there's almost no professional labs left because they've all gone out of business or they've all gone into digital imaging.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting to find all this cheap projection printing equipment that I can buy up.
Well, if you're nearby a university, look for their, like at the Illinois Institute of Technology, look for their property disposition offices. And you can sometimes find equipment that they're getting rid of from their labs and whatever. You can get them for extremely cheap, like say
Oh,
maybe
that's a really good idea.
$25. So you should go and there's so many universities in the greater Chicago area. So just make it a point to figure out where their property disposition offices are and then go and visit them now and then. Not only will you find darkroom equipment, you'll also find old typewriters and electric typewriters and all sorts of things over there. You never know what you'll find because most people go there and buy the furniture and the office chairs and all that, and the all the other stuff, the scientific equipment and stuff is typewriters and all that are they just sit there.
That's a really good idea. I hadn't considered that. I have one enlarger. I've been looking for a second one.
Yeah, do that. You might find a lot of stuff that you're interested in.
That's a great idea.
It's a very good idea. Wow. And
Yeah.
I wrote it down with my fountain pen.
Good for you.
Does anyone else have a typing prompt?
I've got one. I wrote a letter to the editor.
Nice.
Yeah. So my letter to the editor is to the chief editor of the Type Pals mailing list. To whom it may concern, dear editor, I am writing to you in regards to your recent support for rules about collecting typewriters. I take offense to the need for rules at all. I've been collecting typewriters for just over 8 months, and I have 400 and more coming. I'm happily married, although my wife recently left me because of some problem, but I wasn't really listening. I haven't left the house in over a year. I don't shower much. My friends don't call me anymore, but that's okay because I have my typewriters to keep me company. At least I'm off drugs and I'm not soliciting for services anymore. But clearly, you do not value diversity in the world, and you seek to limit people's experiences in life by pushing an agenda of rules. If someone asked you to jump off a bridge, would you? Would you touch a hot stove? Would you run around screaming like banshees in public places? Or egging old man Gregory's house? If your answer is no, then you are limiting yourself and your life experiences. Imagine the great things that you learn from just doing it. Stop hurting yourself and stop hurting others by trying to apply rules. You only end up damaging your life experiences. I hope that you reconsider your support. Otherwise, I'm coming over to egg your house. Signed. Oh, I had a good signature too, but where is it? Oh, type field diversity. Eh?
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sean, were you using a fountain pen?
No, I wrote on my typewriter, but I just got the new Parker 51
Yes.
on Saturday. It's
Pretty
not
fun.
quite. It's not quite. Yeah, it's very nice, but it's not quite the same as the original 51. So I'm still don't know yet. But yeah, I
What
like
ink you
it.
got in there?
Sorry,
John, have you put
What
any
ink you
ink in
got?
it yet?
Yeah, I got the Bung Box Clown something or others. I keep wanting to say Tears of the Clown, but it's a Bung Box ink, and I know it's a weird name. I always laugh when I say it. That's the 14-year-old in me still, but anyway, yeah. It's a purple, it's a plum and gold, so I wanted to put a purple style ink in it.
Yeah, very nice. I had this is my 1949 Parker 51, which I use on a
True
regular.
vintage.
Yeah, I love the 51s. So I wanted to see what the new one was like, and it's good, but it's a little different in certain ways. Like it's got a screw-off cap instead of a a pull cap, and
okay.
There's some other little differences, but I don't know. It's out. I'm out on it still. I haven't decided. But yeah.
Bill has a question about fountain pen ink. I think if you want quality fountain pen ink that doesn't cost an arm and a leg and is reliable, it doesn't have any nasty chemicals in it that'll clog up your pen and all that, you should look for Quink ink. It's made by Parker.
That's my
you
favorite.
Can, yeah, you can.
I would recommend diamine inks.
Yeah,
I
but
like those as
I'm
well.
saying diamines are great, but they cost a bit more.
That's
Quink ink, if you buy from, there's a company in Great Britain called Cult Pen, CULTPENs.com. Go and look. They have bottles of let's see, where do I? Well, they have 50 milliliter bottles for costing, I think, $4.25 a bottle.
That's a good price.
Thank you.
And I also like pens from this company. It's can you see it?
There we go.
Yeah, it's PW Ackerman pens, and it comes in a wonderful bottle, so like this.
Very
And
nice.
you can see this is the ink reservoir, and there's a marble-like thing over here, so you can fill it up
Yeah.
like that, and
I
then
love those
fill
bottles.
your pen. Well, when I finish these bottles, these two, I'll send. Yes,
There we go. There's Parker.
that's exactly it. That's the Parker printing that I was talking about.
Yeah, that's the exact ink I like to use. And I really find I like using bottled inks with almost any pen. It makes it more economical.
Oh, absolutely.
And you don't throw away cartridges. It's a little less wasteful. And
Yes.
I bought a set of those syringes that are used for refilling inkjet cartridges, and you can refill the used fountain pen cartridges instead of using a converter. Some pens don't really use converters. The bodies are too short. So in that case, it's good to just refill them with a syringe. And then you can
Pilot's
have
got some pretty short ones that
yeah, they do now, but yeah, and so you can use the economy of fountain pen, bottled ink, and then almost any kind of pen. And that I guess to me personally, that's the real value proposition with fountain pens is bottled ink. Because if you're going to use like disposable cartridges, you might as well just get a Pilot G2 gel pen. It's disposable and it's going to write on more varieties of paper than a fountain pen would, and probably better. So.
Yeah, that's why I got into fountain pens is I do a lot of hand drawing and sketches with ink, and pens like microns are really expensive and they run out of ink really quick. So you know, it's great to get a fine tip fountain pen that you can just refill over and over.
Right.
And for refilling my cartridges, I have a few 3cc syringes, and
Yes.
I think it's a number 22 needle which has been ground off smooth. Refill
This
with
thing
that.
right here.
Ah.
Something
Oh
like
yes,
that.
yes.
Yep. Pretty much.
You do other things with it.
So, Sid.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you mind me asking whereabouts are you originally from?
Well, I am originally from India, from Northeast India. Being British as you were originally, you must have known about Assam tea.
Yeah.
I'm from the state of Assam. It's in Northeast India. I grew up in Sweden, Australia, and then in India.
Oh my.
And I'm Indian parents, but I was born in Sweden, Stockholm. But
that's interesting.
yeah. But then when I was 18, I came over to attend college in the United States, and I've stayed on.
Yep. My second father-in-law was from Bombay, now Mumbai.
Yeah.
And he came across to the University of Utah in Salt Lake City to do his engineering degree or something like that. And then he ended up marrying his wife, I've been married twice. My first wife died of cancer, so my second wife now. So I ended up with two sets of in-laws.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good, but I'm sorry that your wife passed away.
Yeah.
I've had cancer too, and one thing is this. As a result of my cancer, the after effects, I got a bunch of strokes. So I went from being All-American athlete at the University of Michigan to being a guy who has trouble walking one city block, and I had problems with my hands and all that. And you know what? The physical therapist told me, why don't you type on an old-fashioned typewriter? That might help you be able to reuse your hands again. So I started off typing seriously around about 2010, and first I couldn't even press a key down with my right hand, and whereas now I can type the way Joe's typing right now, and I can hold a pen and write with it, and I can hold a fork and eat with it. So typing has been good for me.
It's interesting how quite a few people on this Type Talk have actually used typewriters as therapy, be it mental or physical or emotional.
Yes.
Typewriters have done a great many things for people.
Yes. Yes, I agree with that. So go for it. More power to typewriters.
Yes.
Exactly.
So Sid, have you used a Godrej typewriter?
I played with them when I was a child in India because I used to go and visit my father, who was a bureaucrat, and we used to go with him. And then I used to go to the typing pool, and they have Godrej typewriters, and they had Halda typewriters.
Okay.
My friend Kevin has a Godrej that he bought
Right.
from India through eBay,
Yeah,
and
then
it actually arrived, shipped across the world, arrived in good shape, and we actually are pretty impressed with the build quality overall. It's pretty rugged, and it looks like it's based, I think, on a Royal, full size kind of typewriter design.
right,
A lot of
with
the elements, yeah.
they used to have in government offices. They used to have the full size desk machines with the longer platen, because that would fit the big size forms that they'd use in government offices. And then it's they were pretty good, and they were made really rugged, just so that people in government offices couldn't destroy them, and they wouldn't
Yes.
need repairs.
It looks like when Kevin got his Godrej, the mechanism was pretty well soaked in oil. They just over lubricated it, but that typewriter seems to like that. It seems to work fine. Just put some oil in it and it works. So,
Well,
like the IBMs, they need a lot of lubrication.
yeah.
Just so you know, Joe, one of the sort of kids from the Godrej family is actually my friend. He lives here in Ann Arbor. He's a faculty member in the School of Engineering over here. Maybe I should get him to show up maybe next Sunday, and you can ask him all about typewriters and steel furniture. They make all office furniture and all that. So they became billionaires making typewriters and steel furniture, something like steel case kind of stuff.
Oh, yes.
Fantastic. Yeah.
That's something special.
I do see a new face, Andy.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. I wasn't sure if my audio was working, so.
Yeah, sounds good.
How's it going, everyone?
Good.
Hello.
Do you just want to do just a brief intro?
Yeah, well, I'm Andy. I live in California. I guess I share the state with Gregory and a couple other folks out there. Right. And I've been collecting for about a year, just over a year. So I was sort of took the common path, watched California Typewriter, got reconnected, I guess, with typewriters, and then went crazy and was enabled by Joe Van Cleve and his videos and all the rest of you great contributors to the typewriter community. And now I got a bunch of typewriters and had something special I was going to share today, because I've been chasing fonts for probably the last 5 or 6 typewriters. And I came across something that was kind of extraordinary. I figured I wasn't going to see it in a while, and wanted to share it with you guys, just see what was going on here.
Yeah, I believe the term is typeface. Just throwing
what is that?
I said I believe the term is typeface. Just throwing that out.
Typeface. My apologies.
It's all good. You call them what you
I get the lingo.
We know what you're talking about.
Thank you, Lucas.
Somebody was gonna
Welcome
say
to
it.
the pedigree.
I still have a lot to learn.
It's
At
okay.
least can I talk about this thing right now? And
Go for it.
see if I can angle my camera down here a little bit. I'll get out of the way.
Oh yeah, the field case.
Ooh.
There was something.
Evil man.
Wow. I'm not
something I've
jealous
seen all
at
the
all.
So
Yeah.
we're really dying to hear what the typeface is.
We're suddenly jealous.
Yeah.
Well,
You can
it was
go
funny
anywhere.
because it was sitting around locally, and
Tell us the story.
yeah, so it was sitting around locally on Let Go, and I reached out to this person, and looks like they were entertaining, offers and that kind of thing. So they really didn't want to sell it at that point, and they wanted $100. And I'm a lowballer. I'm like Gregory. I'm poor, so I lowballed $50, and she's like, well, maybe I'm gonna wait to see how many offers I get. So weeks go by, and so I said, well, will you take 75? And she goes, yeah, your offer's about the same as everybody else's, so you might as well come pick it up. I was like, all right. I was intrigued, obviously, by the tripod stand. And then as I was looking at the photo in the ad, I realized there was something else unique about the machine. I call it a double unicorn, I guess. And the 0 had a slash through it. So I was like, wait a second. Yeah. So is it possible that this is a tripod mill, right? That's what we're looking at. And I guess I can bring it in closer. It's in rough shape. I haven't done anything to it. Anyway, you guys probably seen one of these before, or
oh yeah,
all the time, every day.
Hey, yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
I have
but
a
I thought the
newer
other
one.
thing,
Yeah.
does that focus at all, or?
Yeah, that's good.
It's kind of bright here.
It
And
has
I
a
think
tick-
the other thing that intrigued me about the machine was I saw this lettering. I imagined I was making a Joe Van Cleve video, and I started doing research, and I thought I'd come up with a backstory. I don't know if you can see that writing on there.
Shop.
It says shop 7.
Oh yeah.
That's OP 733. And the logo's it's worn off, but this did say U.S. Navy on there, so I figured that it was a Navy mill.
Yeah.
And in the course, my imagination started running wild. So in the course of doing some research, I said, well, shop could mean special handling for operations purposes, right? So that could be a military reference. And then I thought, well, 733 could be this destroyer. So was this machine, all right, connected in some serendipitous way? Now the 733 sunk in World War II, so I don't think it was on board obviously when that happened, but could it have been connected to that ship? I don't know, but.
And what year is the typewriter, Andy? Like a 38, 39, 40?
I was having a hard time dating it based on the serial.
What's the serial number?
Oh, I'm supposed to be prepared with that information.
Ted will get that for you in 5 seconds or less.
Hang on, now I have to open up a spreadsheet. You guys are really making me work this morning.
Or you just look in the typewriter.
I was going to say that probably that shop 733 refers to the work center, the actual workshop. That's the way a lot of Navy organizations were organized. You had like a shop or a work center, and that was their designation. So
you'd think that Joe was in the Navy or something with that.
You'd think that.
I think that.
Well, I was obviously letting my imagination run wild with enthusiasm, and but I thought about that too, Joe, and but I just thought 733 was kind of a high number for that. I figured it would be a lower number, but who knows?
I do find it interesting that it has the portable tripod stand for being Navy, because a standard shipboard typewriter would just be on a desk, a big gray desk bolted to the deck.
Yes.
So it makes me wonder if it wasn't something like the Seabees or one of the more mobile type Navy outfits that would go out on the beach or something, rather than just being on board ship.
Yes, and this particular, I guess this particular destroyer, did something called Picket. It was it was like a radar deal where they would set up. You probably know what that is. I'm just learning this stuff, but the serial on this machine it's Foxtrot 1431568. If anybody's looking, I couldn't really narrow down a year on that.
It's a universal.
Underwoods have 2 serial numbers.
That would be right pre-war, about 1942. To get a big
42.
engine production. That's why it's a mill.
Okay.
So it was made by Underwood for the Navy.
Wow.
In 1942.
Yeah. Just for giggles, I typed up a goofy note, just see what it is. I haven't done I haven't done any cleaning on the thing, so it's just been kind of playing around with it, but pretty exciting.
Now, a quick question about mail typing. Do I understand correctly that most messages are always sent in groups of 6 letter space, 6 letters space? Then it's the decoder's job to break that up into the correct words, and each message only has a certain amount of words in it, so it's printed off and torn off and handed off. Does anybody know that for sure?
It sounds good to me.
I know that encryption groups are done in groups of 5, but I don't know about Morse.
Yeah.
So that's designed to obfuscate the number of letters in each word. Is when you do code groups, you always group them in groups of 5, so that you never know what the spacing is for the words.
Groups of 5. Okay. Yeah.
So is that how I'll be forced to type that way when I type with this typewriter?
Yes, you have to. It's the rule.
Yeah.
It'll self-destruct.
And you have to use a World War II cipher, a Navy cipher used in the Pacific War.
That might be tougher to find.
I do love that typeface. That's excellent. Excellent.
Speaking of letting your imagination run wild with machines, my very first typewriter, a lot of people have asked me if it was stolen because the serial number has been cut off with a hacksaw.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
There's a large chunk in the back of the frame with hacksaw marks that somebody had used to crack the serial number off the machine.
It could happen.
So you have a black market.
You got contraband typewriters.
Yeah, so that's kind of the story I've been going with.
I wonder if there's a crime database with serial numbers in it for typewriters.
Well, there's no serial number, so you'd never know.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
That's exactly the point.
Yep.
I have a question about the typewriter you just showed. How does it hook into the table, or what is the table? What is it? I've never seen that before.
Right?
Yeah, it does. The top of the case. My case is in really rough shape, so it definitely needs some work. But the top of the case would be the same as any typewriter case, where it has the back hooks, and then the Underwood has the feet actually have the rubber feet actually have a receiver hole in the middle of them that kind of clamps on to these front pieces. But the transom has been sheared off the back of this thing, so I think that's going to need some repair. And I was looking for a donor case on that Underwood case that I could possibly restore that, so that the top case can properly go back on there. But it's definitely in rough shape. It's seen some action.
So those legs fold up underneath, and then that flap goes down and shuts it all in.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, you don't have to do it. Take it
I take it you want a full demonstration. But yeah, these click down like this.
Okay, cool. Wow.
I don't have to. Somewhere there's an instruction manual on that online, I guess, from the civilian version, where they show you how to unfold it and fold it. But and actually, someone was asking about these little feet. They're actually all intact. I guess some of them, they've been scraped off, these little plastic feet. So, but yeah, something like this. Well, I'm trying not too rough.
Wow.
Very compact.
That's brilliant.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
That is quite a find. Goodness.
I don't know.
It gives you a little side table so you can put your gin and tonic on.
I was gonna say paper, but
And then you can throw your papers, because the top cover, the larger part of the cover, actually also stays on when the thing is deployed, and then you can actually throw stuff in the top of that as well. So,
Very nice.
yeah, I figured it was once in a lifetime, so it was my turn to show and tell, I guess. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Andy.
Yeah.
Bet.
Now,
Excited.
what would you use ideally that all caps typeface for, like, I was thinking grocery lists would be really good, right? Shopping lists.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of cool.
The
Need
other
butter.
thing,
Stop.
the other thing about a mill typewriter is that it does have a figure 1, whereas no other typewriters had a figure 1 in that era.
Oh,
Yes.
That's
The
right.
Underwood 3 Bank had the figure 1.
Again?
Ooh.
Underwood 3 Bank had a number 1 key.
oh,
Okay.
And also script machines.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
yes,
script machines weren't common. Script
Yeah.
machines came popular in the 1950s, but I do have a 1927 Royal Peon script that was a custom modification.
Very cool.
Cool.
Does anyone else have a typing prompt?
I do.
Excellent.
I actually
Here.
did the prompt this time.
And which one did you do?
I'm not going to come egg your house. I did.
Thank you,
I need more
because
support.
you don't live that very you don't live very far, so
Yeah. No,
He would
I
be a
really,
suspect.
I got to easily tracked. I really enjoyed the typewriter collecting rules. So I did Care Cleary's commandments for collecting typewriters. Subject to change. Thou shalt only collect machines you want, need, or feel sorry for. Also, machines you wish to give or sell to others, ones you can use for parts, ones you can want to stockpile for a possible type-in someday, and also ones you just can't resist. Thou shalt only collect as many Thou shalt only collect as many typewriters as you have room for. Corollary, thou shalt always make room for a typewriter as needed. 3, this one kind of got away from me. 3, thou shalt keep thy collection to a reasonable number. Said number shall be calculated through typewriter math as follows. Number of machines currently visible in living space plus number of machines in closets and or garages minus machines in pieces because they're being worked on, minus 2 if any parts are elsewhere at time of calculation, plus any machines that have been given to you and you own unintentionally minus any you are planning to give away or sell. Each duplicate machine with slight variation from the others counts as a separate machine unless they are exact duplicates in every way but SN, and then they count as one. Parts machines do not count unless boasting, I have 6 Corona 4, and all parts machines are subtracted when justifying the collection to a spouse, roommate, or concerned friend. I only have 1 Corona 4, the rest are for parts. Machines in auctions do not count unless you have 1 said auction. Machines en route to you can count or not, whatever's handy. Machines you're intending to sell or give away do not count, nor do machines belonging to someone else in the house unless desired for bragging. Yes, that is my Oliver 3, but may be subtracted as needed, especially when confronted by spouse about your number of typewriters. Hey, that Oliver is yours, not mine. If the typewriters from friends count for 0.5 of a machine because you didn't get it on purpose, but there it is. Typewriters occupying a storage space somewhere apart from the primary residence do not count at all. If that is your situation, just don't bother counting your machines. 4, thou shalt only collect, these are my rules. 4, thou shalt only collect royals and coronas, for thou art a queen. And besides, you need some boundaries here, face it. 5, thou shalt not lowball a typewriter you really, really want on OfferUp because you will lose it and regret it. 6, thou shalt have more functioning than non-functioning machines in your possession at any time by a ratio of 20-1. Purchasing of more machines to reach the proper ratio is encouraged, and it is not your fault if they turn out to be duds and throw off the math. 7, thou shalt rescue machines as needed without regard to above commandments, especially if in danger of being chopped or turned into planters or lamps. 8, thou shalt give away typewriters 3 times yearly minimum, especially to a kid. 9, thou shalt not denigrate anyone else's collection, whether for condition, quality, quantity, preferred brands and models, or amount paid. In the case of a We Are Memory Keeper, you should be permitted to gently sigh and then offer them something pleasant and functional from your own collection. Alternatively, you can find and fix a machine for them at your own expense, and if they reject it, it will not count in your tally unless you want it to. 10, thou shalt play with type on, repair, adore, cuddle, clean, replace ribbons on, correspond on, make art with, write lists on, display, share, and talk about your typewriters at least a little each day. Enjoy them all, always, or pass them along. 11, I had to pencil it in. Always support other collectors to the best of your ability.
Wow. Excellent.
Well, that's great.
Great, 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 great.
Thank you, Care.
Love it. Serious and funny.
You might as well not have rules with those rules. I love it. That's perfect. That's actually the
Yay.
middle ground. Yay.
Yeah. That's the
Sean's
point.
not going to come egg my house.
No, you're good.
All the time.
I think I need a spreadsheet to keep track of all that.
I can scan it and send it to you.
Hey, Andy. I just wanted to let you know I sent you something in the chat.
Okay, once I learn how to read that, I'll pick it up. Joe, here you go.
Let me zoom in on
Shopping
that. Oh, there we go.
Oh, buttermilk, number 7. That's
Buttermilk.
Buttermilk with pepper. Yeah.
Does this machine operate in 2 colors?
Since Joe wanted a shopping list, there it is.
That's awesome.
Hey, I don't have a new typewriter, but I got something new recently. After I saw some suggestions, I got a Lazy Susan.
Yeah.
Nice.
Somebody local was making them for craft shows, and the craft show business has dried up with the COVID. So I got this for $15.
Ooh, nice.
18 inches, and I was like, oh, what a great idea! I can just work on typewriter.
You could have a lot of fun typing on a typewriter while it's on there.
You could put a big board on top of it and put a typewriter on either side and spin it to continue. Like you could have like a back and forth correspondence with yourself.
Yeah.
Who has to wait for mail, right?
I find typing on a Lazy Susan is akin to a dog trying to eat his bowl of food on the kitchen floor as he chases it down the floor as he's eating. You do that with a typewriter on
Yeah.
It's not as much fun, but it's okay.
I know in one of those typewriter how-to videos from way back when, the old black and white films, they were sort of exaggerating the typewriter moving as you're typing, and she kept shifting it like this and then pulling it back, and it keep moving over. And you know, in those old films, they exaggerate everything about the typing experience.
Feet.
That's not really an exaggeration for me.
Talk to Ted for new feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What do
Speaking
you
of
guys
Ted,
do about typewriter tables and like accoutrement? I mean, I'm looking because of course when I'm on this typewriter club, I'm also looking for typewriters. There's a
that is allowed.
and I'm seeing a little typewriter table that I really like, and I don't know where I would put it, but you know.
Just one of the little roller ones with the little leaves on both sides.
Yes, exactly. One of the really adorable ones, and it looks like it's in good shape. $50
the wood-
though, that seems like a lot.
Get it.
Yeah.
I got mine with the typewriter for 50.
Nice.
See, $50
Especially
seems
with
like
the
a lot.
typewriter.
Yeah, that is high. It should usually about 25 is what I see.
Yeah, I've gotten them from like 15 to 30 usually, but
I would get one with the lever that
Lifts the
takes the
wheels.
wheels
High-low.
off, because
Ah.
I've got one that doesn't, and
They don't
it's
move, right?
very rattly. It doesn't.
I have
it's
one
not
like that.
firm.
I
was
like those for stability, but I like the little scrawny ones for the placement. And I have one that drops it down and is stable, but that's on the porch because the feet are so big, it takes up a lot of room.
Yeah, I've got a SG1 on a one that doesn't, and it's not workable.
You need an anvil to put that on.
An SG1 creates an earthquake when you type with it. So yeah, you need a heavier table for that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I had a question. Do the people over here, do you ever collect machine that have been used by someone, famous person like um, in the University of Michigan, of which I'm part of, in the creative writing program, they got a couple of typewriters sitting there, and the lady in charge wants to throw them all out. And two of the typewriters were machines used by Eudora Welty, the famous writer, and she wants to throw them into the dumpster. So
It's painful.
they were both Royal machines from the 50s. So I have volunteered to take them off her hands.
Good for you.
Props to you.
We
a
volunteer to take them off your
collector-
hands too.
Yeah, there's a collector called Steve Soberoff who buys
Yes,
specifically people who he buys the typewriters of people who are famous for some reason or another. Whether they're writers or he has the Unabomber's typewriter.
Oh my
He has
goodness.
John Lennon's typewriter.
Steve sent letters
see
to
that.
the Unabomber.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
He did.
So
with
the
his
typewriter
typewriter?
that he has, the lid for the ribbon cover is actually used to make a bomb.
Goodness.
Let me tell you something interesting about my connection to the Unabomber. Well,
My mom went to high school with the guy.
yeah,
Wow.
in 96, 97, I lived in 1410 Hill Street, which is just off campus at the University of Michigan. Later, I find out that Ted Kaczynski lived in that house for the entire time that he was doing his PhD at Michigan. So, I lived in Ted Kaczynski's house.
That's creepy.
Goodness.
Yeah, creepy.
Yeah, my mom went to her local high school. I forget which one it was, and Ted Kaczynski was just a couple of grades ahead of her. So you'd saw him in the halls a couple of times. You would never have guessed at that time what he was going to be doing with his life.
Wow.
Wow, that's crazy.
I was going to interject here and show you a little project I've been working on.
Oh, yes, please do.
Oh, Bob just buttered his toast like Joe did. Okay, I'm going to switch cameras. So I'm out on my courtyard. So this is what I've been working on with my friend Ethan. This is a laser cut box for my Royal KMM if I want to store it or transport it. In my,
Oh, I like that.
and so it's not quite finished on the inside. And let's see here if I can open this up.
Looks
But
very
it opens
nice.
like this. And it's going to have
amazing.
plenty of room on the inside to store the typewriter. I still haven't put any brackets inside to hold the carriage from moving. But that's basically it. It's laser cut, 1/2-inch plywood, finger joints. And we found a Royal logo online that we laser cut into it. So
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's
Very
awesome,
nice.
Joe.
Beautiful.
Have any of you
that's
seen the
amazing,
Very nice, Joe.
Yeah.
so it's going to be a portable typewriter by the time we're done with it.
I really
Put
like
your
that
back out.
case.
Built on it.
Have you seen the Underwood noiseless portable cases? The early ones, they have leather straps inside that actually hold the machine down. There's no brackets. Actually,
Oh.
I got one over here. And I've never seen a case like this before. There's nothing in it. There's just 4 leather straps. And that's what holds the machine in place.
Wow. Well, my friend Ethan was originally thinking we would just use foam or something, but when I started
Yeah.
looking more closely, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to build some pieces of wood on the base of it that holds the four feet in place, like locates the typewriter into the base of it so it doesn't move around. And then I just need a couple brackets that will literally hold the carriage immobile to keep from moving left to right. Because that's the real concern, right, is damaging the escapement gear. If it gets moved suddenly, a shock or a jar from the side. So I just want to have something that just immobilizes it. So it's
You should
it's
put
rigid.
a bracket on the top case. So as you close
Yeah.
the top case, it presses down and the
Yes.
carriage release.
Yep. that's something like that, exactly what I'm going to do. But it was really cool. The process of making this was really neat because, Ethan designed this whole thing on his CAD software, right? So it was kind of cool seeing just this profile of the lid and how he drew it out, and then watching it cut on the laser cutter, and then, locating all the, everything was measured with the laser, with the CAD software, even the holes for the locks and the hinges and everything. Wow. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty cool project. I'll be making a video about this soon when I get it done.
Hey, Joe, is the bottom the same as the top? Like it's got the cuts there in the wood? I'd hate.
Yes.
How's it secured? Because when you pick that sucker up, I mean, you don't want the whole bottom to fall out of it.
No, it's actually. I'm going to be putting some wood screws into the bottom to those finger joints to keep it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we'll countersink some of those in there.
Yeah. Extra support.
Yes, exactly. And also we designed this so that the rear of the typewriter, where the carriage is where most of the weight is. And that you sort of put the typewriter in keyboard first. And just the layout, let me show you here, flip back to the other camera, just the layout of this, the way there's a lot more room in the front when this opens. So the higher part of the carriage is in front, and then back here is where the keyboard will be. So it makes it easier to pick up and out of the box that way.
Yeah.
So and then we have these nice handholds.
Yeah. Now, how much does that case weigh?
I haven't weighed it, but it's maybe, I don't know, 7 pounds or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't really weighed it. It's not that bad, actually.
How much does the typewriter weigh?
Oh, it's probably in the 30s, kmm, I'm sure.
So we're talking almost 40 pounds, right?
Yeah.
A Canon IBM around with you.
It's a portable.
Portable standard.
I'll probably put some, exactly. I'll probably put some rubber feet on the bottom of the case, but the idea was that if I wanted to store the KMM away in the closet, I would have a place to do it safely. And then I could put other typewriter cases on top of it.
Without worrying about
it. Yeah, without worrying about it, right? So, and then also if I do want to, because I could see myself, if New Mexico opens up later in the year from the virus, I could see having typewriter meetings in the Albuquerque Press Club, and I could see bringing this typewriter there. So it would be nice to have that case for that purpose.
You're definitely going to be unique, Joe. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But maybe I should build in one of those dolly wheels and have a handle like a lug suitcase. I could just roll it.
Typewriter roadie.
Yeah.
No, I've done that on dollies. I got a couple bungee cords on. I don't drive, so sometimes when I have to drop some machines off that I've been repairing, I just stack them on the dolly, bungee cord them in, and tote them around town.
Yep. Anyway, it was a fun project.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Sounds like.
So you've transferred an office typewriter into a luggable typewriter.
Yes, this is like one of those early 1980s K-Pro computers, that or Osborne's, another one. Remember those with the CRT, 2 disk drives. And Bob says, "Take my money, Joe."
Yeah.
Well, I could have Ethan put the files for the laser cutting online, but you'd have to get a laser cutter to cut it with.
Yeah.
Joe, if you don't know Bob by now, he doesn't want to do it himself. He just wants to give you the money.
Oh, I know. He just wants me to build one for him.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say, I haven't really been experienced too much with the laser cutting process, but there's a lot of hand finishing required. So, for instance, the finger joints are all, this gets burnt. This is basically ash, right? When you get off the laser cutter. And the problem is, as soon as you start touching it, you get ashy fingerprints. And then when we're gluing the case together, you get glue and ash combined. And as soon as you touch the case of it, now you have a big mess that you have to sand off later.
Oh, wow.
So it's not necessarily as quick and expedient as, for instance, 3D printing, right? With 3D printing, you do have to trim the plastic off, but with this, there's still a lot of woodworking to do. You still have to have clamps and just, sanding and all that. It's not like, computerized. It's not automated. It's still a lot of hand finishing, but it is an interesting process.
Are you going to seal the wood or paint it, or what are you going to do?
It's been sealed with some Danish wood oil already. And so I kind of like the native look of it, just with the Danish oil on it.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not jewelry box grade joinery or construction, right? It's not like that. It's more kind of rough finish. It does kind of remind me in some ways of the original crates that these typewriters came shipped in, right? They were not furniture grade construction.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was looking at it. And I know some people have original royal crates. And I've never been able to find any, but they're really cool.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. This is kind of a modern remake of that idea, you know.
Oh, that's very nice. I do like it.
Thanks.
So it begs, you know, I've got an Oliver #9 that's got its original case. So it's got the original wood board, and then it's got the round metal top on it with a leather handle. Now that Oliver #9 isn't a light typewriter. I bet you it's probably a little bit heavier than a Royal. Like, I don't know how they expected when they built that, you know, to put this light metal sheeting on top with a little leather handle, and thought that somebody would be able to carry that in one hand without throwing their back off. Like,
or it breaking and falling on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'd be worried about.
There's no way.
Yeah. So Joe's idea is way better. At least you got handles. You can lean it up against yourself and waddle into the type in.
We can waddle into it. Exactly. Yeah, and I could actually use it as a typing table like that. You know, I could get crazy with it and build some foldable legs.
There you go. Yeah.
You know what you could do, Joe? Just build some foldable shelves inside the lid. So when you open up the lid, you can pull the shelf down, and then you can put some type, you know, paper on there when it's.
Oh, I like that. And maybe like a bottle of fountain pen ink, and have a little portable desk.
In the wood, and then you can put ink right in there, so it'll stay when you close it. Oh,
I like that. Well, it reminds me of back in the old days when I was in the Navy. We had some video cameras that used a Vidicon tube, a tubed video camera, and when you had to replace the Vidicon tube, it came in a big box, and it was a gimbal. It was a 3D gimbal, and it came shipped so the target, the front face of the tube, was always face up, regardless of how the box is oriented. Because if it was face down, little particles from the heaters and the electron gun would fall onto the face of the camera tube and make little spots. So maybe we could build a 3D gimbal box so the typewriter always stays level, regardless of how you carry it. Okay, that's crazy. I know.
It'd be great for shipping typewriters, though.
It would be, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun project.
I've received too many typewriters that I opened the box, take out the typewriter, and realize it was shipped upside down.
Yeah. Or have you ever been at an antique or thrift store, and the person running the thrift store wants to open the typewriter case for you, and they want to do it upside down? They don't know any better, right?
Oh, don't do it.
Oh, hey, Sarah, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good.
Good to see you guys.
Are you enjoying your new home?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm grateful to have a new place to live. I love it. Yeah.
You can see the street. It looks beautiful there.
Thank you. It's the building that I live in now is 101 years old, so it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got lots of cool vintage touches. Yeah.
Do you have a typewriter shop nearby?
Well, the nearest one is Los Altos Business Machines up in Los Altos by Stanford. So it's about 15-20 minute drive from here.
Oh, that's close.
But you are basically your own typewriter shop, right? You are the typewriter shop.
Yes, until I reach something that I can't figure out, and then I run up there.
What are you typing on today?
Sorry?
What are you typing on today? What is your machine there?
I'd like to say that I'm typing on it. So I got myself a Royal Futura, but I don't like it at all.
Oh no!
It's actually the worst typing experience I think I've ever had out of the box.
Ouch.
And I've done a bunch of things. I know.
Sounds like it might
no.
need a service. I've had one of those, a couple in the past, and they actually type pretty well.
Yeah, it's the skipping. And I'll show you what I mean
Yeah.
when I type on it. You guys,
yeah.
it skips like the worst skipping I've ever had on any machine ever.
Yeah.
And I'm
Royal
actually going to
escapements.
I'm passing it along to a collector, and he knows about that and he doesn't care. But yeah, I did think of Gregory. This is like, I did the typeface specimen, but I'll show you what I mean. Okay.
You gotta love noise canceling.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Even
thing
pop-up.
pops up.
I
It's
have
like-
one that does that too.
It's a Jack in the
Crazy
Box
business.
typewriter.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Oh,
that drives
yeah.
me absolutely bonkers. Oh my god.
Ooh.
Skippity skip. Can't stand
wow,
it.
that-
It's
yeah,
a
that's a
terrible
bad
machine.
That's a
I've
bad
done
one.
all kinds of stuff. I've, you know, like this machine is actually otherwise pristine. It's,
Yeah, it looks
you know,
like the escapement needs an overhaul. Can
Is
be a
that what
pain
it
in the butt
is?
on these.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's the escapement, loose dog, and all the way it fits in. Those are
Yeah,
rough
it's just-
escapements.
Royal pain in the ass.
Got it.
Well said, Nate.
I mean,
They're
this
famous for
machine
that.
like looks like it was not used that much. I got it on Mercari, and I paid more than I'm selling it for because I just feel like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was like flawless. And then when I got it, it had this like mark up here and I don't know if it was from shipping or what, but it was not disclosed in the original pictures. But like this paper table is pure, like clear plastic, completely, you would not believe how like new this thing acts and feels. It's amazing. I'll see if I can show you there. It's just like,
Oh, even the badge on the back there.
exactly. Yeah. It's
Which,
in really
which
good
makes
shape.
it more disappointing.
That looks great.
Exactly. I'm like, what's the deal? Does it just need to be
Yeah.
broken in? So I typed on it for a while and I just kept having trouble. And I was like, that's it. I just can't fall in love with this one. Sorry, people.
Yeah, you don't think you want to work on the skipping issue?
I've got so many other great typewriters. And
Easy
the
to
only
fix.
the only one that I have that skips occasionally that I'm going to keep is the Princess 300 because it prints so beautifully.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's such a gorgeous machine and such a nice typing experience. But this one is so like, it's just so disappointing to even touch it. I can't even
You know,
tell.
I had a Safari for a while and I ended up selling it to somebody, but I didn't really like the feel of it that much. But on the other hand, Kevin's Royal, no, I had a Futura like yours, but Kevin has a Royal Safari on the other hand, and I really like the Safari. It's a totally different, you know, roughly the same era, but it seems like a much better machine in a lot of ways.
It all
Yeah, I
depends
mean,
on how they were
One,
used.
2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6. I just had 6 skips simply typing the alphabet.
Wow.
Okay.
I
mean-
always thought that was my stroke because I've had that problem with every Royal that I've typed on.
Hey.
5 of them, with the exception of the model like Joe got recently.
Yeah.
Is
The
it
KMM.
That's
Yeah.
the one. That's the one Royal that typed really nicely for me. And between the Safari I gave away to my buddy, a couple of Futuras that I've tried, a couple of the Quiet Deluxe.
I find that shocking is because I've had just so many Royals. You know, I got 2 here behind me that I'm just tearing apart to fix. And I've never, ever had a skipping issue.
I haven't
I
either.
don't
Mine
get
all
why
work
people-
fine.
And that's why I'm wondering if it's my touch, because I know that
Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. And I
I don't think it is in this case because like I just typed the you know, these. I was typing slowly just now, one
Yeah.
letter at a
Yeah.
time, like
Yeah,
literally
if-
one letter at a time.
Yeah,
And
if
I
anybody
got-
has good touch typing technique, it's going to be Sarah.
Right. Exactly.
Thank
There
you.
are adjustments
try
that
to
you can
fix
do
it.
to fix the skipping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just-
try
Yeah,
to
that-
fix it. I think you should try to fix it.
Okay.
It's a project. I think you
I'm
could
gonna
do
sell
it.
it. I'm gonna sell. I know I could, but I don't even care. I'm so.
you already
I'm
have somebody that
with
wants
it.
it.
It's like it's not worth my time.
You're emotional about it right now. I know how that is.
I am.
It's okay. It's
No,
all
I mean,
right.
I'm a touch typist, right? I love
Yeah.
to type, and I don't want to have an experience with a typewriter where I can't type words, you know?
Right. And also,
Right?
when you have
It is
enough
kind of the whole
typewriters in
point.
your collection, life's too short to mess with a bad typewriter.
Exactly.
sometimes.
True. It's true.
It's
I
not
agree.
too short. You can totally.
Yeah.
You know, these are going to be my rules, and that's where I'm drawing the line. That this
Ooh,
one,
Sarah's rules. Sarah's rules. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of what got this started. I think was it Sean who wrote that awesome thing about, you know, like how the guy has rules and how you think we should just follow the rules. I thought that was so funny. But yeah, I've had it with this. I really wanted to like it, and if this other guy doesn't pick it up, I might send it down to Gregory or something, because I know he needs a salmon and a green one. But I'm not even gonna pursue. You know, just bad.
You got emotional.
I've got to the point where I want to sit down, have this experience right here. This is the experience you're supposed to have when you type. This guy right here, you sit down, you type something, and the words are crisp and clear, and they come out, and it looks like text is supposed to look.
Yeah.
This is how it's supposed to be.
Yes.
Now, granted, I fixed this one. This had disconnected links and everything. When I first got it, it didn't work, and I did fix it. But this, no.
So-
Royal has to do a better job. If you're going to send me something right out of the box, it's gotta be this. I'm sorry.
You know, for me, Royal has always been the perfect typewriter company. You know, they're my favorites. Never had an issue with them. So I just find it surprising every time somebody says they've got issues with them. You know,
Yeah,
so
I do
I've worked
too.
on hundreds of them. Yeah, they're
I
great.
wonder if it was just like there were some people in the factory who just didn't work as hard, and so there's like good batches and bad batches.
I think they are subject to having issues over time. You really need to upkeep them. You need to maintenance them, repair them. They're very finicky, and they need a lot of work and care. But once you get them to that point where they're restored, they're serviced, they just work fantastic.
I'm
Sarah.
willing to bet that one has not been used enough, and that you need to flush the escapement out really well.
Sarah,
and
yeah.
That's what I thought too, and I tried that. I did all the things, guys. I used compressed air. I flushed it out. I detailed the slug.
Yeah, flushing out the escapement's not going to solve
Put
the
Pop's
skipping
gun
issue.
oil on the railings and the. What's that?
Flushing out the escapement won't solve a skipping issue. You need to adjust the trip distance.
And it requires bending of metal, and that's what makes them so difficult to work
Yeah.
on.
I got a royal
There's
here with
no
the carriage
screws.
off. There's an adjustment right here that
what
ensures that the machine doesn't move the trip plate too far, because otherwise it will cause a skip. You want to tighten that down a little bit if you can. That might help it. The other thing was what Mayor was saying is there are linkages on the bottom that you might want to bend a little bit to tighten up the tolerances.
That's Lucas. Hi. Okay, cool.
Hi.
Hi, Lucas. You're like one of my heroes.
Yeah, I'm going to be signing
Hard
off
to
soon. I
do
got
too.
5% battery.
Oh my
Winding some ribbons for people.
I love your
Oh, yeah.
ribbons, by the way.
love your
Everybody-
cotton Thank you.
Everybody buy his ribbons. They rock.
I
And the
appreciate it.
kids are
Yeah.
so cool.
Well, I have no more Royal Standard spools because this guy bought like all of the ones that I have. So you got, if you need 2-inch,
Lucas, what is your online store's name?
it's lucasdual.com/typewriters.
Okay. Very good.
LUCASDUL.com.
Yes.
Yeah. And I can vouch for him. I've ordered from you at least a couple of times.
If I can flip this around, I have a ton of metal spool stock flying around.
Oh.
And I have a lot
Oh my
of vinyl
gosh,
plastic
Lucas,
for
do you
them.
have the speedy spooler?
Do I have what?
Do you have the speedy spooler?
No, I
Probably
haven't.
made
one
his
of those
own.
things, man.
I bet he made his own. Yeah.
Make your own.
I just
Yeah,
put my ribbon on the screw here and I just wind it all by hand.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I've been working on this International Model P. They're actually kind of rare. It has 2 dead accent keys, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to restore that this week and get that back to the clients. And this, my stock of all my machines.
This.
Yeah.
Nice.
We should see everybody's workspaces. That always fascinates me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really fun to see that.
It's nice talking with you, Lucas. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'm really thrilled you joined today. It's like, we're seeing all these people that are sort of the famous typewriter people come out of the woodwork and join our club, and it's super
Typewriter
awesome.
celebrities.
I consider
I was
all
like,
you guys to be the
Typewriter
famous people.
Illuminati.
Starring, it's Richard Coles,
Yes.
the special
World
appearance by
famous
Joe
Joe
Van
Van Cleve.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to all you guys. I
Likewise.
don't normally wake up this early. 10 o'clock on Sunday. It's
Not on a Sunday.
But,
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
typewriter church. You got to get up.
Yeah.
yeah, I got to
I call
worship
it
the
too,
machines.
This is my only church. Yep.
Yes. Oh, Sarah, look what I'm doing.
I
don't
wanna
know if you
see.
recognize me now. Your Zephyr.
Oh, girl,
I have.
you're working on that.
Remember, I
that
wanted
dirty
for,
the
yeah,
dirty dog that I sent you.
the dirty, but I just wanted it for parts machine because my platen was all pockmarked. Your platen was nice. I broke the little ribbon flat spring things. I snapped them in half trying to bend them. Yours are good. And whatever else is better on this one, I'm going to put on this one. So 2 typewriters become 1.
I love it. What you're doing there is taking it to the next
Thank you
level.
so much.
I love it. I love seeing that you're doing surgery and that my machine gets to be a donor.
Yeah.
It feels really satisfying because I'm a donor on my driver's license.
I'm going
This is really a chance to
maybe
to
I
see
can
my parts get donated before I die.
And maybe later I can snip off the keys and no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh,
No, I wouldn't do that. No, this will be backup for this one.
That's not funny, May.
I believe in having a parts machine.
May, what happened to your typewriter? The wrong typewriter you got in the mail.
The brown. Oh, it'll be here
what
tomorrow.
happened? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, the missed shipping where I got the wrong typewriter. Yeah, that was pretty funny because I was all excited and opened it up. And,
terrible.
Yeah, it's a terrible typewriter. And
do you have to send back the other one, or what are you doing with the other one?
No, they told. I think it's a scam. I think because it was such a crappy typewriter, they probably couldn't sell. What they do is they accidentally send it to you, and they're like, "Oops," and then they send you the real typewriter. So that's how they get rid of.
There you go.
But I think I'm still gonna mess around with it. I want to see if it's okay to wash an electric typewriter.
Electric
so I'm going to pull the motor out. Yeah, the electric one. See if I can rubber duck an electric one.
Oh wow.
Oh, well, yeah.
Just don't plug
I'll
it
take
in.
all the electrical components stuff and see if I can rubber duck you an electric typewriter. It will change my world.
Well, a Type R electric, you should be able to just take the motor out, and everything else should be mechanical.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens. I mean,
Although I would advise, if it's the kind with a powered carriage return, it has a plastic clutch on the right side of the spindle that might not want to get wet. So be careful of that.
Be careful.
Yeah, I think you better make sure it's really dry before you plug it in and turn it back on again.
Oh yeah.
Don't have any water in there. You don't want to get electrocuted.
Right.
Hey, are those Model O's you're working on?
The Corona Zephyr. Are you
Oh,
talking
Zephyrs.
to me?
Okay.
Yeah, what is it?
Corona Zephyr. It's a 1938. I don't know what Sarah's was, but it's a
okay. Not yeah, okay. I didn't.
Zephyrs, those are fun.
Corona Zephyr.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's 19. And so I
those
had
Corona
one,
Ultra Portables take these weird small spools.
Yeah, one of the things I do is I take out that nasty felt and I line them with scrapbook paper so they're all pretty inside. Look at that. So I had a nice looking one, like visually very nice looking, but there were a few broken parts. And so when Sarah came along and said, "Oh, I don't want this," I snatched it up immediately, and it turned out to be great because all the broken parts of mine are fine on hers. So we've got.
I'm really happy to go to a good home, and I'm just kind of thrilled watching you do it there. It's awesome, May.
The reason I asked if you're a
crazy
Model O,
typewriter. Instead of the crazy cat lady, I'm the crazy typewriter lady.
I love it. I love it.
Way better to be crazy typewriter.
Yeah.
The reason I asked about Model O is early on I had purchased one and done some restoring on it, and I was trying to figure out how to get the housing off of it, and it looked like a pretty nasty. And
I haven't taken mine apart. Yeah, this, I have well, it's a version of the O, but I haven't taken it apart. But
Well,
I mean,
those are really tricky to
on
get
all
the
the-
bodies off.
Really?
Have you done
Oh,
that?
yeah.
with this?
Well, then I'm not.
Have you
This maroon deluxe.
I'm glad I don't have to.
Very nice. It's the same model, but yeah, the body panels are really tricky to get off. So
It's
I'll get to
beautiful.
this one in a few
That's
weeks.
beautiful. Yeah. I guess I wasn't clear why I was even trying to do that, but for some reason I got down to it and I said, this has got to come off somehow. So I'm going to keep working on it. And I never did get it done.
Oh,
but,
May just discovered the Zephyr's weakness. Sorry, Andy.
Maybe you
Yeah,
should
the
come to
body-
Missouri and go to the antique mall with me, and you can go buy all the broken typewriters that I saw.
Ooh, yeah.
There are a ton of them.
Oh, I do have a question for you guys.
Yes.
Kind of repair question. This thing makes a really weird noise when I return the carriage. Can you tell me what this means? Wait, hold on. See, now it's not going to do it, of course. Okay.
No.
Kind of like that hard ratcheting noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, your rubber bumpers are dead.
My bumpers are dead.
Yeah, there's
Where's the-
two rubber bumpers on the escapement paddle,
Yeah.
and they dry out, and it makes it really loud.
I think
Oh,
Dwayne
okay.
Jensen has a video on how to replace those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just cut them off.
Everything.
So it's going to just be underneath there. Okay.
Yeah. You just open it up. It'll be by the escapement. The little wheel, the little arm goes back and forth, and there's two rubber pieces around it. They sort of
Yeah.
weaken and sometimes come in and cause the ratcheting sound.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Dwayne Jensen on YouTube's got a great video on how to do that. It's quick and easy. He just sort of cut it off. He replaced one on another one.
Uh-huh.
Solves the problem. It was awesome. It was one of the first repairs I did like 5-6 years ago, and it made me feel like a hero.
Awesome. All right. I'll do that. Thank you so much, you guys. I was wondering if everything kind of like with the Olympias, but I thought it might be a different area. So I'm glad to know that it's in the escapement. That's helpful.
And compared to a Royal, it's much easier to get to. You'll be very happy.
I'm so glad. Well, I
Yeah.
do love Smith Coronas, you know.
Oh
We
yeah.
have a little romance going.
Yeah.
Hi, baby. No, just kidding. How many do I have now? 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. So yeah.
Well, one of the first typewriters I bought on eBay was a Royal Quiet Deluxe, and then I happened to come across this book,
Ooh,
Ooh.
like that.
which by Ernie Jorgensen of Office Machine America,
Mhm.
Birch Avenue, Lewiston, and it goes through all the different machines, how to take the covers off, how to
Oh, yeah.
adjust the
That's
trim.
useful.
Wow.
And so
Do you have a way of scanning that and uploading it, William?
It's actually been scanned by Peter Wheel. I've got a
Oh,
copy.
cool.
Oh,
So,
cool.
and
So
I
Andy,
think-
that's what you need for your Royal.
Where does one find the one? Do I just write to Peter or?
let's see. I think Richard Polt has it on his site. Let me check real
Oh,
quick.
cool. Thank you.
interesting pictures like that.
Wow.
Show you how the
Oh,
backspace.
yeah.
I want that
works
on
and
a
everything.
t-shirt.
That's a good idea. I like that.
That would be great.
It's a very simplistic book, but it does cover the major adjustments.
I
Mhm.
need it
What would you-
trying to
what would
deal
you-
with this freaking companion.
So yes, pretty interesting.
Thanks for sharing this.
Yeah, the
Feedback
t-shirt could
and-
say, any questions?
Be back in 10 minutes.
Yes.
They call it a convenience break, I guess, in the Zoom meeting world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, cute.
Be back in 10.
Nice.
Very cute.
Does anyone else have a typing prompt?
Oh, I didn't do my homework. Sorry.
I don't,
Oh,
but I want to take your advice. I'm going to try to do it for next week, Gregory, because I really liked your idea of rewriting the rules a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also I want to list like sort of the supplies that a person's going to need when they get into this hobby.
Yes.
So, and just certain things, like I've had a lot of sort of disappointing purchases over the last couple months, and it's given me a lot of pause for thought, I guess I could say. I've probably, I mean, I've acquired, I want to say like 3 or 4 that I just hated and had to get rid of right away. Like within days of purchasing them, I realized it was just a huge like mistake. And some of them I let go for much less than I paid. And I was just like, okay, you gotta make some serious new rules or something, you know? I can see Ted nodding. He knows what I'm talking about.
Yep. Sometimes you just got to take a break and enjoy the ones you've got.
It's like, you know, you're in a bad relationship from the moment it starts.
It's
I
like
put
that. You open the box and you're like, oh man, no, really.
I put the link to that Royal P repair book in the chat. So
thank you, Ted.
Everyone go and grab it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I just think the chat, so that will be in the next newsletter as well. So yeah.
Well, one thing I would like to ask folks is, what is a relatively sort of easy to get and not very expensive paper that you can use for typing? Because I'm about ready to go completely bankrupt trying to find paper for fountain pens, which is very difficult to get, but you know. But for typing, what would you recommend that's sort of not expensive?
So Sid, I would say for fountain pens, and this might apply to typing paper, I like the Staples brand paper that is made from recycled sugar cane pulp.
Cool.
It's called Bagasse paper.
Bagasse.
And yeah, I think not every store carries it. Sometimes you have to order it online from Staples, but it takes fountain pen really well. And I think makes a pretty good typing paper. It's rather thin. It's not super thick. It's not like resume paper.
I got this.
Yeah.
This, I wonder. Well,
I don't think your camera's on, Sid.
Yeah.
I feel like a cigar for some reason.
I wonder why.
I've got this writing paper from Office Depot. It's made out of sugarcane paper, but I just got it yesterday, so I have to try it.
Yeah, try that out. The Staples stuff worked pretty well for me for a fountain pen. I found that it didn't feather or bleed through, and it was, for being thin paper, I was pretty surprised.
Well, the problem, I think, is that people on Fountain Pen Network have said that the Bagasse paper, Staples no longer offers that.
Okay.
They've changed the formulation of what they use in their Ecoline series of papers. So the new Ecoline series doesn't seem to work very well.
Oh, okay.
It's
well,
like,
as far as typing paper, I find it depends on which machine I'm using. Like my KMM that I got recently is a elite font, so it's smaller sized letters, and it has a really inky ribbon. And so I like to use thinner paper with it to keep from getting the loops of the letters filled in. But then other machines that tend to be a little drier, I like to use thicker paper. They tend to get a better imprint with, like resume paper. But you're right, it can be expensive. But I find that like the Clairefontaine or the French papers seem to be good for both fountain pens and typewriters, but they're expensive, right? Obviously.
Right. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, I would also suggest or add that Etsy has some great little shops with vintage typewriter paper that you can buy. And I've purchased that quite a few times. Just fun little, onion skin paper and different kinds of cotton bond and stuff with watermarks and all kinds of things. Not very much money, and you can get kind of a random sample of things to try out. So that could be fun.
Thank you, Sarah. I recently picked this up, a box of these legal pads. It was from an antique shop. He found it somewhere. I bought a thing of box of 50 of those pads. They seem to work really well with fountain pens and also as typing paper. I think it's pretty thin. It's from the early 60s.
Oh, cool.
And 50 pads in an entire box. After talking to him, it came down to $10 for the whole lot.
Wow.
There you go. You did well.
Yeah.
You have lots of paper to write with.
Yeah.
Talking about paper, I don't know if anybody has tried this. It's from Staples. It's called Step Forward paper, made from 80% wheat straw.
Oh.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Oh,
that's interesting.
And
Never heard of that.
and my experience with writing with it on fountain pen is that
Anyone?
fountain pen ink doesn't seem to bleed too bad. It's a fairly soft paper.
Yeah. Thank you, William. I'm going to look.
Might be worth looking into.
Yes.
And in
Now-
the chat, go ahead.
No, I was saying that now I have to find the Staples in the area because all the Staples in our part of Michigan seem to have closed down.
Oh no.
And we are left with Office Depot and then all the mom and pop office supply stores, of course, maybe around about 2000 they went out of business thanks to all these. So we'll have to look around to find a Staples store somewhere.
Interesting. Just reading this, Prairie Pulp and Paper Ink, stepforwardpaper.com, designed in Canada, made in India. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Step Forward Paper, Croydon Avenue in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
It's because in India, a lot of companies like manufacturing in India because they don't really have to worry about environmental rules.
Yes, I know.
And then, of course, raw
Labor's
material
cheaper.
is cheap, very cheap. Plus,
Yeah.
labor costs are extremely cheap. So then they don't have to worry about environmental regulations. So they'll all go there to manufacture their products.
Yeah.
I try to remember to save junk mail that has a blank backside because, if I'm just testing out typewriters and stuff like that, then I can reuse the paper that way. And it really can drive you broke with paper. Paper is very expensive, it seems.
Yes, especially good paper that works well with typewriters and with fountain pen drives you, can lead you to bankruptcy.
What about the paper that they use in the Hobonichi?
That it is good, but that thing where you can find it in 8x11 size blank sheets of paper.
Right.
You can get like a ream, which is 500 sheets. I think they used to be about a year back, used to be $55 or $60 for that. Now they've increased the price.
Oh, wow.
Ream would probably cost about $25.
Right.
Wow.
And I think it's all because it's expensive paper in Japan itself. And when the guys import it to the States, it's available only in a few specialty paper suppliers and people who are into fountain pens and stuff like that. So they jack up the prices even more.
Yeah.
It might be worthwhile going on to the website of the papermillstore.com and see what they have for recommendations of fountain pen paper.
Yeah, there's a number of fountain pen web pages that probably would recommend certain papers also.
Well, next week I plan on going. There's a printing facility in town that's owned by a local family, Colossus Printing. I happen to know their son quite well, so I'm going to visit him and look through his paper stocks and try out different things. I'll most probably take my Olympia SF with me and try typing a bit, and also writing with a fountain pen. I'll take a really nice and juicy fountain pen and try it and try to find what works. And if I do find something that works, I'll have him order me some. Or maybe they'll have it already that I can buy straight off him.
Yeah, then you can report back to us.
Yes.
Tell us
Yes.
what you find. Yeah.
Yeah, that's important part of the process. Yes.
Oh yeah, we all love paper. That's it. That's part of what we're doing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I haven't said good morning to Indro yet. Good morning, Indro. How goes? I guess it's afternoon there, isn't it?
Evening.
Evening, sorry.
Yes.
Yes, so the time difference and everything. So you keeping well?
I think he's muted.
Oh, okay. Yes, he is. Oops.
And he's muted us too.
Yeah.
Say whatever you want about him right now. I won't hear you.
I know, intro. I think he doesn't hear us.
So while we're waiting for Indro to get on, I just received a letter from the Royal Typewriter Company for Sarah. Yeah, so apparently they're pretty disappointed. Royal says, "Dear Sarah, we are very sorry to hear of your disappointment with the Coca Royal Futura 800 you recently received. We here at Royal believe that we provide one of the best products in the world and stand behind our typewriters. The local branch manager has been advised of your problems and would be happy to repair your Futura 800 at free of charge. Please contact your local Royal representative at the cable address Roy Type and provide your information so that the typewriter can be picked up for repair." That sounds good, but I just noticed that it's dated 1921, so I don't think there's any Royal reps left.
Seriously, Sean.
Sorry.
Weren't there any Futuras in 1921?
No, I know. Hey, in my world, we're all over
I
the
love your
place.
creativity. Oh my God.
Well, I got letterhead, so I thought, what would Royal think about this? They'd be really super disappointed.
That's good,
Should make it right.
Are you sure it's 1921, not 2021?
Well, on old letterhead, I always use 1900 dates. I never use 2021 because these companies aren't around anymore. So it's just more appropriate to write 19.
Yeah, fair enough.
I love the letterhead.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Where did you get that letterhead?
I bought an original letter, and I have a lady who does graphic design for me. So what I do is I take original letterhead and letters and I give them to her, and I get her to recreate them and crisp them up and then get them onto files so that I can get them printed out on paper so that I can print to my heart's type to my heart's content without feeling like I'm ruining original letterhead. So I've done it for a number of different companies, and I try to get companies for every city and town so that if I'm writing people that I can, like Richard Pold, I send Richard a Cincinnati Cordage and Repair or Cincinnati Cordage and Rope Company letterhead just because he's in Cincinnati and that seemed appropriate. So I just try to keeps things fresh, and it just adds a little more excitement to letters when I get around to writing them.
Love that. I love that so much. You have a great brain. So smart.
Oh, thank you.
Although it would have been probably 52 or 59.
58 to 61 for
Yeah.
the Futuras. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be like 1959. We're really sorry that you're unhappy with this salmon.
Yeah.
I call it the salmon color, but you're right. Cocoa is another color they call it.
Yeah.
It's funny because when you take a picture of it, it does kind of look pink. And when I listed it on Facebook Marketplace, I got so many people going, "Oh my gosh, I want a pink one to match my blue ones,"
And
And it's
It
like,
is-
well, it's not really pink, guys. And
No. I called it salmon. I called it salmon for years until I found that the royal, the original royal ad, and it said cocoa. And I stared at the thing for like an hour after going, I guess so, cocoa. Like, I don't know. It's a weird cocoa, but I guess so. But it's always been more salmony to me. Yeah. Tuna. Yeah.
my grandma used to make us cocoa, and it kind of looked like that. But
Cocoa with a shot of V8 tomato juice in it.
Cocoa and tomato juice.
Mm-mm.
I love my Ovaltine. That's the thing I
Oh,
get.
yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't forget to drink your Ovaltine.
Little Orphan Annie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate, Sean, all you guys that have great letterheads. That's really cool.
It's fun
Yeah,
to
thanks.
see those.
That's what happens when you're nerdy and you want to make your nerdy. Like, hey, some of us are office supply junkies, Joe, and others are letterhead junkies, so it's sort of, we all have our little subculture.
Yeah.
I received
Perks we called.
I received a letter from Curry Russell on what looked like a theatre playbill.
Oh.
Paper.
Nice.
Good job, Curry.
I think
Very
that was
nice.
some paper that I got from somebody mentioned it last week about the Regional Assembly of Text. They have 2 shops, one in Vancouver and one in Victoria. So you can get some really cool little like stationery packs and stuff from them.
Oh,
cool.
When I first started typing, I used to type on novelty papers, but I got so many negative comments from people. Now, this is back in 2011, 2012, saying this is gimmicky, it detracts from the actual letter. So I just gave it. But now,
What a bunch of killjoys.
but
I'd have a reply for them.
Now that I have found this group, I might just get back into
there you go.
Exactly.
And my wife made an interesting comment a couple of weeks ago. She looked at me, saw the smile on my face, and said, "You are singing the song of your people, aren't you?"
The song of my people.
Can I tell you guys something? I remember how I've said before, I want to find typewriter people who used to work in the factories and work on the typewriters.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were at the campground down there in Marco Island, down by the Keys, and I'm walking my dogs, and I meet this lady, and I start talking to her, and her husband comes along, and somehow typewriters come up, and he used to fix the on feet of the typewriters. And I said, nuh-uh. And he goes, yeah. And I said, you really need to come on. I got people that would want to talk to you. And he's like, no, I'm not. No. He was so mad. He didn't want to, he wouldn't even talk to me about it. And I thought, oh my God, maybe I don't want to talk to people, because they obviously, I guess it's not the same when you have a hobby and you want to, you're in love with these things, and you have to do it for a living, but I'm like, man, I couldn't believe it.
I had a similar experience like that with our local repair shop, Brenda, where the guy was just kind of, he's tired of it. Honestly, I think he's frustrated that
they don't realize that all the knowledge, even though they don't like it and it was a job, they have all that knowledge that we want to know that's going to be gone when they die. I know. I just want to apprentice under them. That's what I want so much. Yeah, I want to know. I want to soak all that up. And he just was just like, turned around and walked away. And I thought, well, okay, never mind.
Maybe he thought you were joking, because to him it was just a drudgery.
I don't know. I don't think he could just see that whole thing come up over his face, just like a wall. And I thought, I guess he don't want to talk about it. So.
Well, if you think about it, if that was like his one thing,
it was his job.
Yeah. That's all you did.
If all you do is on feet.
You just are like, no, I'm not talking to you. I don't like it, so.
Feel it like you were the person that always rotated the tires of all the cars that came into the shop.
Yeah.
And, it's like.
Yeah, that's nothing special. Yeah.
Right.
Any production job, numbers are the name of the game, and it can be brutal. So I could totally see where somebody might feel that way.
Yeah.
Well, Ann Arbor used to have this They used to manufacture Argus cameras here in Ann Arbor. And so we have a little Argus Historical Society and all that over here. And we managed to meet a gentleman, he still lives here in town, who worked on Argus cameras. And he had exactly the same reaction that the gentleman that Brenda met in Florida. And later on, I found out that he's very bitter because of the way in which the Argus camera company shut down, and people in the unions were not particularly happy and all that. So a lot of that history, which we don't know about, sort of might have soured Brenda's
Yep, get that.
acquaintance. Yeah.
Yeah.
That reminds me of my local repair shop here in Albuquerque, John Lewis. You know, he used to work on a lot of different business equipment like Xerox machines and computer printers and all this. But when the typewriter revival started in the mid 2000s, it seems like he kind of realized, you know, who his new clients were. And he realized they were people like us that were enthusiastic about typewriters. And so he had to kind of refashion his own enthusiasm for typewriters, you know, for old typewriters, and in order to kind of meet his clients' expectations. So I think that's an example of doing it the right way, you know, realizing that the clientele has changed, the market's changed, and you kind of have to reinvent yourself. You have to kind of have an enthusiasm for the product that matches the customer's enthusiasm.
That's a good
I
point.
imagine too, thinking about like just what you're saying, like think about the people that know how to work on the old typewriters and the old manuals and the standards and stuff and portables, and then how they had to pivot. The people that were in the business for decades, they had to pivot into copiers and electronics and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden people are like, oh, but here's my 1930s, blah, 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 you know, and they're like, oh, you know, you can just see how they're like, wait. Yeah.
See, like I used to be a consumer electronics technician in the 80s and early 90s, and I was pretty skilled with VCRs and camcorders and that kind of stuff. And I don't have anybody asking me about VCRs, but if I did, I could chew their ear off.
I still have one.
Really?
Oh, I have one too. Maybe I need your help.
I mean, I could tell you the difference between beta and VHS. Let's see. Let me see if I can dig something up here. The chroma subcarrier frequency is 629 kilohertz versus 680 or something like that, right?
Whoa.
This stupid stuff in my head.
I've been wondering about that. I'm glad.
I know.
Awesome.
That's funny.
I understand Curry has some typewriter collecting rules for us.
Oh, good.
They're a little bit more extensive than Joe's simple one-liner.
Yeah, my one rule right there.
Yeah.
Wait, what's your rule, Joe?
My rule was only buy machines in working order or with problems I know that I can fix.
I think I'm going to add that to my rules.
There you go.
That worked in here somewhere, but so rule number one, if I buy one, I have to sell one. Notwithstanding, hey, it's unique. One that I don't have, even if the only difference is the color, the typeface, the year, or the serial number.
Yes, you got that serial.
It's a project machine, therefore I can easily fix it. Seriously, I might need to find a parts machine, but I can fix it. C, I'm uncertain as to whether or not I will keep it. Ergo, it's not part of the collection.
Right.
Rule number two, no
It's a
electrics. Unless if the IBM selector that I'm going to try to fix and merging more than one non-functioning ones into a single working one, which I've got on the work table right now. B, it's a Hermes 10, right, Gregory?
Yeah. Definitely.
C, it's an IBM Wheelwriter, which I just got one like 2 weeks ago. It will work with the Smith Corona H ribbon and type wheel pack that I got for free. So I've got this pack, but I don't have a typewriter to go with it yet. Or E, it's $30 or less and the seller looks desperate. 3, I can only buy one if I have the space for it, notwithstanding any of the aforementioned exceptions. 4, no more adding machines / cash registers / time clocks. 5, no more check writers, unless they're in mint condition with the company nameplate and bonus points if it has the vinyl dust cover. Number 6, my wife spotted it and said I should get it. So that was my Facet TP2 that she spotted as like mint condition in its case. And it was like $40 because everything was stitched up, but it's working now.
Awesome.
Rule number 7, make sure that your spouse also has a collecting hobby, as it makes it easier to justify your own collection.
Right.
She actually has more items in her collection now than I have in mine.
What does she collect? Is it the crafting?
Sorry?
What does she collect?
I collect anything that's an animal with a glass base. So a hen on nest, it can be a rooster, a chicken, a dog, a cat, powder boxes, egg plates, egg cups. He made me start, for the record.
And I'm trying to keep her within certain parameters on her collection as well.
All those little animals from the Red Rose Tea Company. Do you collect those? Have you heard of them? No.
But you could start.
Creamtown Glass Company. There's more glass companies than typewriter companies. So this could get a little crazy.
Sorry, did you say with a glass base? Is that what she said? With a glass base?
Yeah. I like those chickens behind me.
He's like, whoop, I go this way. It was like a whole
Ah.
cabinets full of them and stuff like that. So we had to go get the IKEA cabinets for her stuff.
Wow.
And then for now, I'll stop here. Number 8, if Ted Monk showed it on Type Pals Live and I find one, it's fair game.
Yes.
So just so you know, Curry, my family typewriter that I had in school was a Hermes 10, and we still have it, but it's on loan to a guy here in town that I want to get it back from so I can do a video about it. But yeah, I love the Hermes 10. Definitely a great machine.
Yeah, I think you had mentioned that, or an email or something like that.
Yeah. Well, the guy that has it right now is Keith Henley. He owns the Guild Cinema, which is an art house cinema here in Albuquerque, and because they're shut down, I can't just go over to the theater and talk to him. So I've been trying to play phone tag with him, to get in touch with him and say, hey, I'll trade you out a typewriter. Get you another typewriter.
You.
I want the Hermes 10 back.
He's avoiding you.
No,
Yeah.
Joe Van Cleve is hunting me down for the Hermes. I'm not giving it.
That's right. He's going to hold it for ransom.
Maybe he doesn't have it. I hope he still has it.
Oh, I think he does. I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
He has a 1970s Volvo station wagon, so I don't think he gets rid of anything.
Oh, awesome. I just saw a Volvo station wagon recently, and I realized that in Portland, it was a common thing. We always saw those, but down here in California, I never see them. And they used to be sort of one of my dream cars, that I would get an old Volvo station wagon.
I had one. I had a 1966. The what was it? 144 station wagon. Yeah, and that pale blue. Oh my God, that was great. But I was in Maine, and the floorboards had rusted through, as we found out accidentally when a friend got in.
Flintstone's car.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yabba-dabba-doo.
Sarah, you should come and visit Ann Arbor. There's all these station wagons and old cars around with all the university professors in there.
Wow.
Definitely a university professor type of car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Along with leather patches on your corduroy
Yeah.
jackets and,
Yes, exactly.
I have those.
and leather satchel bags.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's funny the way the universe works, because just like 2 days ago, I saw an early 70s urine yellow Volvo station wagon drive by. And it obviously had its original muffler on it because it was loud.
Oh, no.
So it probably doesn't have a muffler anymore.
That's bad.
Well, just
Urine
up and down my street, I think there's at least 4 or 5, and one professor, he seems to like Mercedes Benzes. He's got about 5 or 6 Mercedes Benzes
Yeah.
from the 1970s and 1960s, and
Mhm.
various stages of disrepair in his,
Yeah.
his driveway.
For like typewriters.
Yeah. Yeah. It's valuable.
So you're close to Ottawa Lake, Michigan, right?
What do you say that again?
Ottawa Lake.
That's far away. It's about 5 counties to the west.
That's where my parents are. That's where my parents live, because I'm originally from Toledo, Ohio. So
I'm in Ann Arbor, so which is not too far away
Yeah.
from Toledo. It's about what?
Yeah.
70 miles. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Gregory or California, people from California, do you guys ever go to the ocean and look for shark's teeth?
No, never.
Not to
Why?
look for shark's teeth, no.
Will you go there for me and see if you can find any?
No.
Well, no, I only found 3 of them in Florida.
You need them?
I was
for
going to
something?
say, I don't you have more of them in Florida than we have in California.
Yeah, there was I only got 3 this time, and normally I get like, I mean, I've got a couple hundred of them that I found over the years. But
Wow.
they're I just like to look for them. It's like a hunt. That's what I go to Florida for. Is
I
to
think
walk
the
the
thing-
beach, look for sharks.
You know
The
a
thing-
shark needs a tooth?
The thing with the California coast is the steep continental shelf drop
Not
off.
a
You don't
flat-
have that shallow effect,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay. Yeah.
If I see any, I'll send it to you.
Huh?
The times I've gone to the beach, like on low tide, to look for anything, most of the time I find, coins and things that, humans dropped. I think you have a better chance of finding a shark's tooth probably inland in California than you do, on actual beach.
In
Start looking.
a curio shop.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
For sure.
She needs a new set of dentures.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some dentures made with all the teeth I found. Yes, and they're gonna be black. They're all black, so that'll be really pretty. Woo!
Well, in Michigan, people don't go around looking for shark's teeth, but
No, there's nowhere to look.
they go and they look for what they call Petoskey stones. And you can pick them up. The problem is nowadays you got to be really careful that either a National Park Service ranger or a DNR guy isn't looking, because nowadays if they catch you picking those Petoskey stones up and putting it in a bag, they'll be on top of you and
What are they?
issue you a ticket. Well, there are stones that are that have been eroded, but so they tend to have wonderful geometrical shapes and stuff like that. So they're multicolored and all that. I don't have one over here to show you, but next week I'll have one. I'll have a couple.
Yeah, please do.
You don't get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Hi, Diane. How are you?
Fine, thanks, Greg. How are you?
Good.
I'm fighting a cat here who wants
I know.
attention.
We always have a cat cam somewhere on here.
Cat
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Aw.
Yeah, I miss our cat.
Oh, Gregory.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Elliot, get down.
You think you guys might get another one?
No, because we're actually dog people. It's just we got a cat because at the time we were living in a fairly small apartment, and cats they're like a fairly easy pet. They're yeah. So compared to dogs, I don't know. Dogs seem like more work.
They are. They are more work.
So it was just easy. We were just starting out. We had just gotten married. Technically, we got him before we got married, and he and I were living in our apartment before my wife moved in, which actually created a major problem. He grew very attached and protective of me. So when she moved in, he hated her guts. He would wait outside the bedroom door, and when she would come out, he would attack her.
What?
Oh, no.
Like literally attack her. So
wow.
we had adopted him from the ASPCA, and they have a behaviorist on staff. So we were able to consult the behaviorist, and she gave us a lot of tools and techniques to basically fix the problem, which was pretty bad. I'd come home from work, she'd be all scratched up, and she'd be in tears, and
Oh no.
yeah, it was
gosh.
That's true love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not getting another cat.
No. But you know what?
Valuable you were.
The behaviorist really helped us out. He ended up liking her more than me, so it was amazing. She could cradle him like I never could. So
oh my goodness.
There used to be a book out there called How to Massage Your Cat.
Very carefully.
Grab their legs and massage them.
Oh.
You can always do what I do and get cat-sized dogs.
Oh,
that's what we have. We have 2 cat-sized dogs. Well, one would be a very large cat, but
I have 2 cats.
oh, look at that face. That's precious.
Wow.
Oh. We love scruffy dogs, so both of our dogs are scruffy. So although they have their puppy cuts right now. They're both asleep right now, actually.
Here's the other one.
Oh.
Goodness.
Adorable.
Aww.
The pets of Typewriter Club.
They're like, what?
How many
What?
people have a pet? Does everybody here have a cat or a dog? Raise your hands.
I think most of us.
We had a lab, but she died a few years ago, and so we haven't gotten one back again. But
Yeah, I've had several dogs and cats, but they've all
No more animals.
Well, Joe,
No.
you like to travel, so it would be
Yeah.
It would be
well,
good.
that is the problem. We had a really great neighbor who would take our dog in and keep her, and she liked Bob because Bob would feed her steaks, and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'd like Bob too.
So the story is one day I came home from work after a long day at the factory, and there was a Ziploc baggie hanging from the mailbox with a grilled steak in it for Coco, the
No
dog.
way.
And I came in with this steak, and I looked at my wife and says, "She eats better than I do."
Oh my God.
I was jealous of Coco's diet.
I'm jealous.
Yeah. You try moving in with your neighbors, see if he would feed you.
Unfortunately, Mr. Bob passed away, but he was a great neighbor to us. So, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, that's right. If you're going on vacation, it's those dog kennels just don't work out really well for most dogs.
No.
It's like being
on vacation.
It's depressing.
Sorry.
well, even just a few days. We did end up taking her on some vacations, but you have to find hotels that will take dogs, which is hard to do.
Well,
Yeah.
when we were just on vacation, John and I are driving down, looking around in Florida, and we passed an animal hospital, and he goes, "Oh, look, it's an animal hospital." I said, "Yeah, I don't want to go there." That night, the dog jumped off the couch wrong, and she's flailing around on the floor. We had to drive her down to Key West to an animal hospital to have her x-rayed, find out what is wrong with her. And I'm thinking, here goes $1,000, and it was like $244 for the medicine and the visit. And I'm like, hurry up and pay them and let's get the hell in the car and get out of here before they decide, oh no, we should have charged you 800. But I don't know what she did to herself, but I'm glad, I guess, that she was with us, because if she would have been watched by somebody, they would have had to deal with her.
Yeah.
And these dogs, I'm telling you, no more animals. No.
They're
I love
expensive.
them. I love them, but you know, it's just so I had to keep her down, try to keep her from jumping, and this dog jumps. She's a jumper. I had to try to keep her still for that one day. She couldn't even stand up. Her whole side was, you know, she couldn't even stand on her backside. I was really scared. I thought, oh God, she's gonna, I don't know what I thought was gonna happen, but she's okay now. So
wow.
But it's not a vacation, isn't a vacation until you have to go to the emergency room. Then you know.
This is true.
Then you know. Because that's been like that
or
happened
animal.
to us before when we were in Florida. We had to go to the emergency. Like, oh, for God's sake. So, anyways. Low battery.
While we're in the last half hour here, does anyone else have a typing prompt? Anyone?
I just have to say,
I never got that far.
I'm just not getting mine finished here, Gregory. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Because I have no rules, you know. I couldn't do it this time. I have no rules on typewriter. Just
Yeah, me. No rules.
no rules.
It's all good.
I just got
It's
an
in my
email.
budget, I think, is my only rule.
I just got an email from Shop Goodwill confirming my bid that I don't remember doing, so I must have been bidding on something during
You might have
Typewriter Club.
accidentally.
Maybe somebody hacked your account and they're buying typewriters for you.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's
Okay,
awesome.
I drink last night. Never bid while drinking, right? Never. Bid.
No drunk
Done
eBay.
Yeah, and no drunk typewriter taking apart either, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Is there a story there you can tell us?
Yeah, it's sitting over there staring balefully at me, wondering what happened to it.
Balefully.
I'll tell you the story once I get it back together. How's that?
That's
When
funny.
it has a happy ending, if it has a happy ending.
Yeah.
Well, I do
Where does this
have.
screw come from?
I do have a brand new rule that I just created.
Let's hear it.
And that rule is to never, ever, ever have an IBM Quiet Writer shipped. Yeah, it was not a good thing. Now,
20 pieces.
Not shipped.
About 6 pieces.
My bad ears. Okay.
So, now, I can't really fault the seller. He followed my instructions to a T. He probably could have used a slightly bigger box, but FedEx had it standing up on end and clearly had put things on top of it. So the bottom of the box, well, what would have been the side of the box, looked like an accordion. So I was like, oh no, as soon as I saw the box. I opened it up and I still have a good feeling about it. Then as I'm heaving this immense typewriter out of the box, I see these pieces down in the corner of the box. I was like, oh no. But then I still had hopes that, okay, maybe it's just cosmetic. Well, apparently on the back is, I don't even know what you would call it. I thought it was just like a plastic piece to protect maybe cords and stuff on the back. It turns out that's like, there's a couple of boards in there.
That's where it keeps its brains.
Yes.
Yeah. The brain.
And there was just a little ribbon cable that had been ripped out, and big chunks of that were broken off. And then I looked inside, and there was other issues. I don't know what they're for, but there's a couple AA batteries in there, and those clearly had exploded at some point.
Oh no.
Batteries are for its memory. It needs to keep its settings and stuff.
Okay.
Basically like any other computer. It has a like a set of AA's, like probably 3 or 4 AA's that sit in holder on there,
Yeah.
and that just keeps its memory alive.
Yeah. So the good thing is the seller had on his own had ordered insurance. So I suspect he valued it at more than I paid for it.
He was smart.
Yeah. And he said to just keep it. He within 24 hours he refunded my money.
Wow.
But
Oh,
it's
nice.
not about the money. I'm absolutely heartbroken
Right.
because I wanted it so badly.
Oh.
And seeing it, it's like, oh, if only I could use that thing. But my goodness, what do I do with it now? Because it's huge. And Curry knows that he has a wheel writer. So these things are huge. And I was just heartbroken. In fact, the box is sitting on the dining room table because I'm not sure how to dispose of it.
Sorry to hear that, Gregory. That sucks bad.
It does.
Yeah. So
I had stuff like
That's
that
a good rule.
before, and sadly, I had to throw. I know I hate to say it, but I had to throw a machine away because of something like that. There
Yeah.
was no salvaging it. I had to accept that it was a loss. You know,
Yeah.
it's sad. But there are others out there who will get that one someday. You'll get the one you need again.
So Gregory, is that going to be a new rule of yours? You're just not going to buy any more typewriters through the mail?
Well, just not immense typewriters like that.
Yeah.
I've had better luck with the ultrasonic typewriters. They're the Smith Corona ultrasonics because those have a case. But the problem with this one is, it's not. I mean, it's not portable at all. Even the ultrasonics it's questionable if those are portable or not. But the quiet writer, you would not want to carry that around. Definitely not. So I might have a rule that the typewriter has to have a case because in almost every instance, the damages that occur are typewriters that don't have a case. There was one instance where the typewriter supposedly had a case, but I don't think the case was meant for it. And the case actually ended up damaging the typewriter in shipment. But in most cases, like the Olympia SF I got, that was in a case, just beautiful. There was I don't think there was any chance of that getting damaged in shipment because they have these compact little cases that
They're smaller ones. It seems like the smaller ones the smaller typewriters come better than the bigger ones. Yeah.
It's true.
And the Royal Signet, that's the one that has the case that reminds me of a coffin.
Oh,
because of the lining inside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And there's nothing even holding the typewriter in place in that one. It's just sitting in there, but it's the
like a
perfect size, so it holds everything in place. So
Really departed typewriter.
Yeah. So a typewriter case might be a requirement from now on. Yeah.
I agree. That's one of my rules.
Yeah.
I gave this the Royal Futura inside a beautiful case, and yet it still had some damage on top that was not pictured, and they claimed that it was from shipping. I don't know if it was or wasn't, but I think it's key that they actually put some padding in there instead of sticking it in the case and popping it in a box, which is what happened in this.
Well, and the lid on your 800 had a tendency to pop up there when you were typing, so I'm sure that might have happened while it was shipping, and then it's sort of bonking back and forth at the top of the case now, and you could have got your damage from that.
True.
Sean, you are Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah,
Why did
they don't pay me just to type.
Of course.
Yeah, they should have wrapped that in that plastic film wrap.
Yeah.
That's what I used when I wrapped Gregory's
Oh my
what is that,
goodness.
press and seal.
Your packing job was impeccable. It's like, my goodness.
Yes. You are.
I can't say for May's that the one I shipped to May looked like a crazy person did it because it had all this like duct tape all over it. But the one I did
cute,
for Gregory
though.
looked pretty. It was what?
Duct tape queen.
It was like it was so weird. It had like green
You
ducks.
had moving packing paper.
But the
It
one I
was
did for
duct
Gregory
tape.
was definitely like I tried to follow the Dwayne Jensen recommendations for that one for Gregory, and I really babied it, and so that was fun. But the press and seal wrap works great.
That was
So
amazing.
I saw my friend, the John Lewis typewriter guy. He ships these full size like Royal KMMs and all that. People send him typewriters all over the country to fix. He ships them back, and he uses like double boxing. He'll have a box that's huge with one of these uprights, you know, and it's all bubble wrapped and cello wrapped and, you know, fully encapsulated, you know. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably $50 worth of packing materials.
Exactly.
Alone.
That's the downside of it. Yeah. Yeah. But that's the way that you want to do it. To do it for real. Yeah.
And the poor results, you know, getting typewriters shipped to me, and I've tried to, you know, preempt the process a bit by intervening with, you know, instructions and videos and all that. And then about 10% of, you know, the message gets received and it still comes in, you know, poorly packed. And then I've tried just to, you know, laissez-faire and not even say a word, just, you know, let them ship it, and it's 50-50 on that in terms of results. You know, sometimes they figure it out, most of the time not. But when they don't, especially eBay, that's where you buy. I try not to buy off there, but if they don't respond, then you know you're in trouble because they're just going to do whatever they're going to do. So, sorry about that, Gregory.
Oh, no, not at all. I think I could be wrong, but I think Goodwill, I think they're starting to learn how to ship typewriters.
They are.
See, some of the locations, yes, and some no. I had remember that ridiculous, it was a Hermes 2000 that was just in some stuff, and then it was really bad. But then I've had most of my other ones from Goodwill have been really beautifully packed. So I think you're right. Some of them are getting a clue and some aren't. You just kind of.
That's where you need typewriter therapy. Because just the loss of that typewriter, you can't get over easily. No. You know?
Right. You put your heart into it. You're waiting, counting
That's
down
what
the
we're
days.
here for. We're a support group.
That's right.
Yeah, like the Typewriter, I'm completely heartbroken about it. Every time I look at the box, my heart.
You need to take that box outside, I think, and get it out of your house.
Don't leave it in front of you.
Yeah.
Dragging your energy down every time you walk past it. You're getting emotional.
Well, if you weren't living in California, you could burn the box, but you can't do that in California. So.
We have laws against that.
Yeah. Compost it.
Compost it. That's right.
Right. Compost.
Start a bonfire.
And then you still have to look at it.
Yeah.
Get it out of there. Get it out of there. Get yourself a Hermes 2000 as fast as you can, or 3000.
Right.
Stick it on your table and then just make yourself feel better.
Join the cult of Hermes, Gregory.
I really, really, really want the Hermes 10.
Do it, Tim. We got to do it for Gregory.
Oh man.
You like those Type R electrics, don't you, Gregory?
I really do. And that one, oh my goodness. And it's your fault, Joe. It's always
thank you.
Fault.
It's always Joe's fault.
Always Joe.
Joe did it.
Always Joe.
Joe is such an enabler.
I am
He
an
is
enabler.
all his fault.
I know.
All your fault, Joe.
Hey, Sarah.
Sleep all along. What?
Sarah, I'm curious. When you're like just typing casually, like writing a letter or something, how fast would you say your typing speed is in those situations? Do you have any idea?
So I did the typing speed competition for virtual Hermans, and I came in around 51. Well, I mean, if it was electric, it really doesn't count. If I were to go against Richard Polt on a noiseless, he would win, hands down. But it was like 53 words a minute on an electric. If I'm typing on a computer, I can do 80 to 100 words a minute. If I'm typing on a manual typewriter, probably, I don't know, 40, 50 words a minute or something. If I really get going. It just depends.
How about on that Futura? How fast would you say?
Oh, It was just 10 words a minute, maybe on a good day. Back spacing every couple times.
If you could count the spaces, the skips as characters, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that would be a stretch. It just, I'd have all these breaks because I'd be stopping to cry, dry my eyes, and you know.
If it makes you feel any better, Richard Holt can probably beat anybody on anything.
Yeah.
He pretty much can. I guess Nurin Jury is supposed to compete with me next year at the Hermes for. He said that he's got an Olympia something electric that he wants to compete with me against. So I've got to get myself one of those. Probably.
What does Richard type at?
Sorry?
What kind of speed does Richard type at?
He's very fast. On a Remington noiseless, he was doing 46, 50 words a minute, I think, something like that. I mean, he's really screaming on a noiseless, which requires extra effort. That's the thing that blows my mind. Yeah. He's really.
I think, Sarah, if you're going to prepare for a speed typing contest, get yourself like the Royal KMM, one of those big Royal manuals from the mid-century, because they are office machines and they're built for, you know, fast typing and
Okay. All right.
It looked like Richard was a two-finger typer as well, right?
No, I think he was a touch typist. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, the demonstration this morning looked like two-finger, but maybe
I thought so too.
I thought so.
Oh wow.
Oh, maybe I'll have
Richard.
to.
Richard did
different class.
27 words a minute on a Yoast number 4.
Wow.
Yeah, in the antique competition, the first year I did it, and I came in second on the Smith Premier 4 at a lowly 14.7.
Yeah, but Diane, what's yours? The kind that you can't even see the words you were typing?
And that was what he was typing on as well.
Ah, okay. Wow. That's impressive.
There was an antiques division. I didn't do the typing competition this year because it fell on the day of my dad's funeral, and there was just nothing that was going to happen, nothing else that was going to happen that day.
So you could be Diane, the blind typist, because you use a blind typewriter.
Yeah.
In the comments, I put a link to Dr. Typewriter. He has a series of videos where he's just, I think he calls it typewriter sounds or something like that. He's typing on a variety of typewriters. It spends about maybe 7 to 9 minutes just full speed typing.
He's done really good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to listen to that at night before I go to bed. Like have it to my subconscious.
Yeah, I think that, the link is typing on a 1913 Royal number 5. Okay. And he just flies. He's pretty amazing. And he, he also has a video, I think his most recent from 5 days ago, called Adopt a Typewriter. And just the look he has and everything. He's wearing a white button-down shirt with a tie, and he has long, like 70s style hair with a goatee and glasses, and he's talking up, adopting typewriters. So definitely check out his channel if you haven't already.
What's it called?
Dr. Typewriter.
Okay.
It's also appended typewriters.
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, he's a two-finger typist. That must be a faster way to do it. I'm doing it wrong. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that's me. That's me.
I think what's fastest is whatever you're used to.
Yeah.
The fastest way to type,
Yeah.
Well, it's just like that Dvorak keyboard is supposed to be more efficient.
It is. Believe me, it is.
Right?
It would probably trip me up.
Yeah.
That's some habits. Yeah.
When I first started typing on the computer, I was doing 15 words a minute. Switched to the Dvorak keyboard. Within 2 weeks, I was up to 45.
Yeah.
Oh.
But these days, once you break a certain age, the learning curve on that is pretty significant.
Yeah. There's no going back and learning how to properly type for me. It just. Yeah.
Talking about learning to type. Does anybody here have the technology to transfer reel-to-reel tape onto CD.
Mm.
Yes, I won a set of 30 reel-to-reel tapes of a 1960s typewriter course. I kind of like to get those transferred onto CDs. Is that possible?
I would think I would think it would be easier to just find a reel-to-reel tape player.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would probably be the simpler route.
Once you've found a real tape player, you can digitize them yourself on your computer. So
Yeah, and instead of putting them to CDs, just make a WAV files or MP3 files.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can listen to them on your phone.
We were
mobily.
talking about rising prices earlier. Reel-to-reel tape machines
Oh,
fall
yeah.
into that same category.
Yes,
they do.
They're expensive.
So it may or may not be
Get your
cheaper.
reel-to-reel.
A cheap one that works is at least 300. So
Wow.
yeah.
More than they were new now.
That works.
You might
is
as well
the
buy a
key,
Hermes
the key
3000
phrase.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I wonder if
surprised-
there's any transcription service that'll, digitize those tapes for you.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
I gotta
lots
go,
of
guys.
that.
I'm sorry to say goodbye, but I gotta do it. I've got a friend coming over, so.
I do as well.
Well, thank you so
Nice
much.
seeing you,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Nice,
Wonderful
Sarah.
to meet you all. Love you guys.
Bye.
Love you too, Sarah.
Yep.
Bye bye.
I gotta go too, so I'm just gonna piggyback on the.
Okay. Thank you, Kara.
Take care.
Bye, you guys. Nice to see you.
Bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, there's
I
more
have
than
a
one?
question.
Oh, cool. Sorry, the FedEx guy came.
Oh, I have a question.
Here's box number one.
Cool.
Could that be a typewriter?
Go, Diane, go.
Hey,
There's 3. Oh, no.
Live unboxing.
Typewriters keep coming in. You're doing an unboxing?
Hold on, I'm
Nate?
gonna mute just, if we have
Okay.
time, I sure will. Give me just
So-
a few minutes. He's got 2
okay.
more. I've got
Go ahead, Diane. What is your question?
yeah, I'm wondering if anybody that's still online has a Royal P that they can answer what a particular part does, maybe.
No royal peace here.
I wonder if May has one.
show us the part, and we'll.
That's what I'm trying to do, but it's so screwy picking this thing up. So here's said Royal P. And here is the part. This would be behind the paper, behind the paper table.
That is the paper table.
Yes, I know, but it would normally be behind it. I'm sending it off to be painted because I honest to God cannot stand that.
Mhm.
So it's this little spring here.
Oh.
And
That is for your paper bale. It's coming hooked.
oh, so where
It
does
just
it
goes
hook to?
around the right arm of it, I think. Where the see the arm that comes up on the right side of the typewriter.
Let's see.
Yeah, the vertical part on the right should be on your left now. That right there, I think it hooks around it somewhere.
It should.
Well, there's a spring there, but this is on the inside.
Oh.
I thought it had something to do with this, with the paper table itself. There's a little, and it's hard to see because it's black. There is a little knob right here. And I don't know how well that's going to show up. Maybe if I show it at that angle.
Is it part of the paper release lever mechanism?
There. Can you see it right now? It's
I
hanging
can
down.
see it. It's meant to.
Yeah, there's a little
Okay.
like a little protrusion, is what you're saying.
It's
Yeah.
meant so that the paper table can be pulled forward and then it springs back.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
attached
that's
to that paper table.
Ah.
so this is supposed to be hooked on there.
Yeah. That is
Okay.
definitely a positioning spring or detent spring to hold the paper table in the up or down position.
So
is my
it should
guess.
go around the front of that protrusion, I believe, to push it back toward the rear.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Yeah, I can finally. I'm trying to look at. I should just look at it instead of trying to worry what the camera's seeing. Anyway, yeah, I want to have Megan. I'm going to send her some stuff for painting. This is top of the list because it's just bugs the living crap out of me. I mean, the rest of the typewriter is great. I mean, there's maybe one little spot on the front where there's some paint is worn off, but it's perfect other than that. And this just drives me bonkers. But yeah, I have a couple of I have a Smith Corona 5 series, basically all apart, and I'm going to take the panels off my green electric because it's the old rust it's rusting through the paint, which just ugh. Okay.
Okay, well, we were talking about packages getting damaged.
Uh-oh.
Look.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Oh, let me find my box cutters.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. But I see bubble wrap peeking out.
Did you already take pictures of the box like that?
No.
You should
Mm-hmm.
before opening it.
Okay, I will do that. Good.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
Or you can just play this video back for them.
Oh, that's true. You know what?
That's
Get it.
true.
You're exactly right. That's exactly right. So
Watch it at the 3-hour 30-minute mark.
Just have to remember where.
You'll have to put the video in your video editor and trim it down just to this
Trim
part
it
of
down
it.
for 'em.
There you go.
Hang on, I'm taking pictures.
So what is this machine, May?
I
that
don't know.
you have too many on order?
It's the royal pile of parts.
The POP.
Instead of going on a real vacation, I bid on 10 typewriters and I won 8 of them.
Come on.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa. This is I think a Smith Corona something. Let's see.
Upside down?
Upside
No,
down.
it's upside down. Yeah.
Has someone created the Typewriter of the Month Club yet? Subscription service?
I heard it move in there upside down. Oh no. This doesn't sound good, guys. This might be a bad unboxing.
Oh dear.
I know.
Unboxing trauma.
This is PG-13, right?
Oh.
Oh.
It's not even.
Is it a silent?
They didn't even lock it in the case. That's what happened.
Sterling.
Why?
Oh, and they messed it up.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
I saw one of those at the antique mall.
Yeah.
It wasn't
What's
even
wrong
locked
with
in
it,
the
May?
case, and it was upside down. It's got a big scratch on the top where the return lever is smashed down into the.
So what you do in this case is you take pictures of the machine and you send it back to the seller and you make a complaint that the machine you received was not as described. Was not as described.
It wasn't locked in. The return lever is smashed.
Can you move the carriage to the left and see if the escapement works? Like use the space bar?
I think it's
not
repairable. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna
Free typewriter.
take a look and keep on sticking. So if it's fixable, I'm not, but
Yeah.
still, I paid good money for it. Oh, it still works. Escapement works. Oh yeah. So the important things work. I've got to have to bend this little return lever.
Oh,
And
bend.
I don't know if the top was scratched like that already, or if it
I'll have
happened.
to look
with
at the ad.
Shipping.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at the ad. Yeah. But
I've gotten
looks like
significant
that's
discounts by,
So
getting a
it's got
typewriter
pretty
like
good-
that.
You can see it's got a pretty good scratch right here,
Yeah.
but it doesn't go through the black. So, but a lot of typewriters had that scratch anyway, because for some reason they didn't close the lid when they were returning, and oops,
Or they pushed down while they were returning.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
everything looks
How's it
good.
smell, May?
It doesn't have a smell, actually. It smells kind of like machine,
Is it going to be rubber ducky time for that typewriter
Oh,
soon?
yeah, this one's got, it's got spider webs on the bottom. Oh, nice. But it's pretty. I wanted a Corona typewriter, I have to save another typewriter now.
Yeah.
But they could have done a way better job. They did everything wrong. They didn't lock it in the case, and they turned the thing upside down.
Yeah.
So you're like a typewriter hospice.
Yeah.
Orphanage is a better word. Joe.
Orphanage, maybe. Okay.
Orphanage, yeah. So I foster typewriters, you know. All right, there's more than one, but wait, there's more.
So you get deliveries on Sunday?
We do now. We didn't used to before, but they started doing that during the pandemic, you know, because people are shopping online a lot more. And so there's a lot more business with all the shippers.
Here in Albuquerque, the Postal Service does deliveries for Amazon and stuff. They're contracted. So, and they do on Sundays.
I think ours does too.
Typewriter unboxing. This is a YouTube channel now. I think we've got something here.
You're right.
While she's unboxing, I wanted to tell you guys we drove past Ernest Hemingway's house.
Oh.
Wasn't what I expected at all. Had a big 6-foot brick wall around it and looked like they were trying to keep the dinosaurs in. I mean, it was weird. I'll have to post some pictures on the group if that's
Is this in
okay.
Key West?
Yeah.
I think there was a poet in residence who was living there a couple of years ago and doing typewriter poetry.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were people waiting in line to get in, and we're not doing that.
Did you see any 6-toed cats?
No, I did not. I saw roosters. So have roosters walking around. We did see a cat, but he had all his right fingers. So
okay,
you know.
I suppose there's a bunch of 6-toed cats living there.
That's what I've been told by John.
Polydactyls.
Yes. It sounds like there's a robot.
I know.
There's a robot in here.
Is that you, Ted?
Oh, I think it's May. She's muffling. Something's wrong.
Oh. Oh boy.
May, you're a robot.
Oh my gosh.
I'm paying for the special effects.
It's the aliens. They want their typewriters back.
So who's seen a movie called Hangar 18?
Yes. This is Hangar 18.
This is the voice in the spaceship in Hangar 18.
Is that May's audio?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe her earbuds are going dead or something.
That's probably it. Wireless earbuds are going
Wireless, yeah.
I wonder if she can even hear us.
Or she's choosing not to.
I think what's happening is that she's turned into a robot.
Yeah.
Oh, May is a typewriter robot.
Typewriter robot girl.
She's been disguising herself from us, and now her real personality comes out.
No. Oh my God, that's funny.
I think she's gonna log back in.
See, the best things happen toward the end of the broadcast.
Here she comes.
Right.
May, are you with us? May.
Come in, May.
I should have waited till the end to show the typewriter.
We've talked about how whenever we have emotional moments,
Yeah.
the video,
That's true.
that's
Much better, May. You don't sound like a robot anymore.
yeah, that was weird. Well, you guys sound like a robot, so I couldn't hear.
Oh.
So this, I think, is a two-tone Royal Quiet Deluxe. I'm not really sure. It looked that way in the pictures. And, you know, I love Royal Quiet Deluxes. I'm trying to.
At least the box looks like it's in good shape.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all that bubble
did a
wrap.
nice job on this one.
Nice job, and it's lined in bubble wrap, so good job. I'm gonna have to write a little nasty letter to the Corona Sterling seller. Not too nasty because, you know, but honest.
Get your money back first and then write another one.
Yeah, here they did like the worst. They did everything wrong on that shipping job. And I explain, every time I get a typewriter, I explain step by step. I send them the instructions that come, you know, I do a screenshot of the packing instructions that come in the owner's manual. So they have no excuse for doing everything wrong like that. I even told them to put it in the box, smaller lid side down, which they did not do. And so everything I told them to do, they did the opposite. So
My nephew's like
we'll have to
that.
make note of that location and avoid it now. So
We could create a typewriter eBay blacklist.
yeah, exactly.
It's called just not caring.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like they're not typewriter people, so they don't care. So.
They
All
better be careful if they're going to get a robot after them.
Okay. Let's go.
If there's bubble or foam in there, you're.
Oops. And you know what? They didn't lock this one down in there either.
Oh my
but,
God.
Yeah, or
almost dropped the case. They didn't even lock the case down. What is wrong with these people? But it stood in it was put in.
It had
correctly.
padding in there, at least.
They had padding, and then they put a right side up sticker on there, so they kept it right side up for the most part. But this is an Elite Quiet Deluxe. I'll obviously have to set some of the.
How's the sounding bell?
Yeah. How's the escapement?
Yeah.
Is it space bar work the trick?
Oh yeah. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
I see that one has the adjustable tension on it. Yep.
I've had no problems with these machines. I think they're the best of all of
mine.
It's just those years. For some reason, I've had no escapement issues, no issues at all, except just tiny little adjustments to make the escapement, just a little bit better. But yeah, everything shift works. Everything looks good.
A collective sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good.
And it's got
So
metal
you were what,
spools.
2 for 3 on those, May?
2 for 3. Well, I don't think the Corona is a goner. No, it's savable. I get typewriters to type on. So I'm not a.
So you can actually use a typewriter without the carriage return lever by pulling the carriage back with the right knob and then twisting it. Click, click.
Right. Exactly.
That's what you do with the Remington Bantam.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even the little Hermes rockets, the old ones, sometimes it's better to do that than use that tiny little angled lever they have.
Yeah. And look, Corona Zephyr is the same way. It's got an odd, tiny little lever.
That's
year-round Christmas over there, May?
Say that again?
Is it year-round Christmas over there? Typewriter?
Well, it's my spring break. It's my spring break vacation. I decided not to go anywhere. So the money I normally would have spent going, taking a vacation, I just bought typewriters.
What I did on my vacation. I stayed home and
spring break. Typewriters gone wild. Woohoo!
Wow. Typewriters with what t-shirts?
Oh,
yes.
Diane,
typewriters.
Oh my Diane.
There you go. Wet typewriters.
Rubber ducky time.
Gone wild.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Typewriters gone wild.
I gotta mute the audio now. My wife.
Typist gone wild.
Oh. Oh, you're frozen, me.
The video is frozen.
Yep.
Almost like it was intentional. It's right before she unwrapped it, and
I
it just
know,
stopped. What?
Perfect.
Oh, there
we go.
Okay, so can you hear me though?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can hear you.
So maybe we're all had. This is a classic 12, and
Ooh.
Galaxy.
Oh my gosh, they really wrapped it inside too.
Oh, nice. Nice color, blue and
so the
cream
goal, the goal of this one isn't to have the typewriter, believe it or not. The goal of this one, I just want it for its body,
It's
just
getting
want
really
it for
risque
its
now.
body because yeah, it is. Typewriters. So this
Typewriters
one
gone
is
wild.
my 6.
Oh yeah. You're going to
CPI,
transplant it
and it
into
didn't
the other
come
body.
with a I'm going to transplant it into the body. This body's kind of scruffy and it didn't come with a lid, but it's a 6 CPI bulletin.
Yeah.
And so I thought if I got another classic 12 in the same, edition with the plastic case, I thought, well, the worst that can happen is I can't do it. So this will be a project to do a body swap.
So what typeface does the
That's why I
new
got this
machine have, May?
I think it's just a
Standard
regular
Pica?
elite, a standard elite.
Oh, Elite? Yeah.
Elite, I believe. It
I love the
goes to-
changeable typefaces
goes
though.
To one, yeah.
On the 2 keys.
Yeah, it goes to 130. So
Oh.
it's just the standard elite, but I just want the body. I don't need any of the carriage, So this one turned out to be pretty good. It looks like it'll be a nice donor machine for my 6 CPI.
So are you going to use the chassis of this one as a naked typewriter?
I don't know what I'll do with it after that.
I think you should.
Yeah, I could make another naked typewriter, or it can be a parts machine for my other 6 series, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 6 series Smith Coronas. So I'll just keep it on the side for a little while. And in the typewriter groups, people are always asking, do you have a K key? Do you have a knob? So I've had people send me stuff, so I could return the favor with the same thing.
May, as I said about 3 weeks ago, I had bought one of those 6 series just for the changeable key.
Yeah.
The mechanics itself is in poor condition, but the body is perfect. I could just send
Just to pull the changeable types out, you got it for that.
well, it had the happy face, sad face on it.
Oh my goodness! Of course, you would have to, right?
Yeah, and
That
the
is
person
so
who was
cool.
selling it didn't know what they're selling, so I got the machine for I think it was $10.
Oh wow.
Wow. Yeah,
and
the type is worth more than that, right?
the mechanism itself is broken. There's bits missing on the inside, but the body itself is perfect. As I said, I had offered that one to you 3 weeks ago.
I didn't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, this is now, I believe, officially the
A
longest.
record.
The longest.
Yes.
Wow. Into overtime here.
46 minutes.
That's great. Well, thank you,
Gregory. Once again, the center would like to thank and congratulate you for your dedication.
Excellent.
This longest episode has been noted and appreciated.
Yes.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Maybe Gregory, you could make a separate video just for May's unboxings.
I know, huh?
My emotional unboxing. Everything else about it's fantastic, though. It's just,
Yeah.
luckily it survived, because it could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm okay. But I still think I should get some money back, like at least half a refund for that.
Exactly.
Indeed.
We'll see.
Just for the pain and intellectual.
I know, pain and
stress.
suffering.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you were witnessed. It was
Yeah.
witnessed by 17 people. too.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you got.
We all need compensation for that.
Exactly.
Typewriter PTSD, right?
PTSD.
Okay, guys. Well, thanks, guys. And
Post typewriter shipping disaster.
Yeah.
Hey, Ted.
Yes.
In what is there a Royal FP manual out there?
Like what kind of manual?
Huh? Like a maintenance manual?
Yes.
Or
I think
is
so.
it-
Let me
I
look.
think that's the one I have.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought there's a Bible for that.
Yeah.
Is there? Which
Yeah.
is it called Royal FP? I've not seen it.
It's
Let
FP
me show you.
Or is it the manual typewriter Bible?
No, it's a
Give me a
specific
second.
one.
Yeah, me a second.
It even takes Ted time to pull it up.
Sometimes
Let's
magic takes time.
My Royal FP's margin release is throwing a fit. translation, it's not working like it should.
All right, let me find the chat. There it is. There you go. It's in the chat.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that is generous.
So that's gonna be in the newsletter. So,
Oh, okay. Got it.
very good.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the one I have. So
the answer is
Okay,
yes.
I wasn't aware there was one, so I'm gonna have to get it.
It covers all the royal standards from the FP all the way up to the 470. So
Oh, okay.
I grouped them all together to make a real big, thick book.
it's nice and thick. Receiving those packages is like, it's really something. you feel like you're getting a typewriter.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm going to share my screen for just a second before
Sure.
we sign off. And you can see what the typewriter was supposed to look like. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's no scratch, you know. So the shipping, it is shipping damage, unfortunately.
Boy, somebody had a whiteout error right there. Looks like. Is that covered with whiteout like that?
Or is it shiny?
Or is that just weird?
Oh, that's just a
artifacts?
weird reflection.
Oh, okay.
It's got the
like-
And the
texture.
platinum looks like it's been oiled up too.
No, it was just the shiny, the flash, I think, of the camera because it doesn't
Oh,
look
okay.
in real life. But yes, so it was damaged definitely in shipping. So I
Yeah,
should
that's pretty
really-
sad.
You bust them, officer.
Yeah, I would get them.
Get the
Well,
typewriter police.
you know
after.
what they're usually pretty good. I haven't had this happen with the typewriter, but I've had it happen twice with sewing machines. I collect vintage sewing machines. Well, I haven't lately because I'm into typewriters, but they refund everything. If they damage it in shipping, you get a free. So this could end up being a free typewriter and
free typewriter.
Free typewriter. So, you know, then I won't feel so bad about the damage.
Yeah.
See, I need to get typewriters shipped to me, and so I can kick them around before I take pictures of them.
Yes. Yeah. Damn. Oh my.
This could be the right hand carriage return typewriter, right hand knob type.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because I've heard people trying to bend these back and they snap, and so I'm going to be terrified. So, what would be your advice, Joe? To maybe heat up the metal first?
No,
don't heat it.
No, don't heat it up. You'll lose the temper.
Okay,
Yeah.
just do it
I don't know.
slowly. Just very
Yes.
slowly.
Very
take it
slowly.
off?
Very slowly. Take it off first. Yeah.
Take it off
And
to
then
bend
just-
it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't take it off. Just bend
Oh,
it.
no.
Just
Oh.
hold it, clamp
grab
it
it
at the
and
base.
Just
Grab it and pull up.
slowly.
Make sure you
You could do it live on the air right now.
get firmly by the carriage so it's not putting the.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to snap.
Go, man. Go, man. Go, man. Go.
That could really give us some PTSD.
Yeah.
It's a free typewriter anyway. Just do it.
That's right.
Hey,
Oh no.
May, do you happen to have any? I think they're called Elna sewing machines.
I saw one of those at a
But I know
thrift
what they
store.
are.
So
yeah, I know what
thrift
they are, but
store.
I don't have one.
Yeah, I almost bought one.
My
mother
mom
has
had
one.
one when I was a kid.
It's a
And it was the
grasshopper.
first time I ever
Yeah.
became aware of logo design,
Typography. Yeah.
typography.
Was on the sewing machine.
There's a name for when you're logo type.
Yeah.
The little Elna logo type on that machine was so distinctive that I think it stuck with me all these years that, at one point I became a graphic designer, and
Because
that
of the-
really made an impression on me, the machine, because it was just so solid, and the design of it just stuck in my head. I know nothing of sewing machines, but Elna, I always remember that.
It was a big deal when my mom got hers. That was a big deal. I mean, I think those things were very expensive, back when I don't know when she got it in the 70s, maybe.
Yep.
But yeah, I just asked her about it the other day because she's got a different brand one now. I think she said this is in the attic. It's like, get it out of the attic. What are you doing?
Is that a Swiss made brand?
I think they're from
Elna?
Sweden,
Maybe,
maybe.
I don't
They're
know.
Swedish.
They're Swedish.
Swedish, yeah.
Oh, it worked, Ted. I did it. Yay. I bent the.
Yay!
Yay.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Test.
See, it's not so hard.
Have faith.
Yeah.
Have faith in
Have
yourself.
faith. Yeah.
Oh,
Congratulations.
crow just
I'm
dive
really-
bombed the porch.
I don't know about you.
That's not a good sign.
Birds.
Fortunately, you got your crow protective hat on.
Yeah, well, I have an umbrella up here above the table, so it's kind of protected. But
I have a phone call if you want to borrow it.
oh,
Shades of Alfred Hitchcock. Huh?
that's right.
Yeah.
I got a 20 gauge if you want to borrow it.
I love crows.
That reminds me that I got my grandfather's old rifle back from the gunsmith, and it's a Remington 32 special, I think. And
Wow.
anyways, it's an old hunting rifle that it was in the original cardboard box, in fact. So hope to go out and shoot that one of these days.
All right. Well, now we're just
They're at
shy.
4 hours now.
4 hours.
Right.
But it's been worth it. It's totally been worth it.
Always.
It must stop. It
These
must
were some of
stop.
the highlights of the episode. So
So May, how's it working now? Is
It
look
works
it's
great. No skipping. Yeah.
Yay!
excellent.
Just got a little blemish on the ribbon cover.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it.
You know,
But
there is
even
some
the ink works.
there's some textured paint, spray paint you can buy that you might be able to spray on that little spot and get it working, get it covered up.
The text to just dab on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's not. It didn't cut down to the metal. It's still black, so it's not too bad.
Oh yeah.
Maybe shoe polish or something.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I want me a little shoe, but I'm gonna try thing. I'll at least clean it up and see. I think I'll be fine with it. I'm not too picky. You know, to me,
Put a sticker
vintage
on it.
things- Put a big sticker.
Put a sticker
Vintage
on it.
things can be scruffy. You know, I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, it is Corona after all, you know.
There
So
you go. Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's why I got it. I needed a Corona typewriter. I don't have one.
As long as it
I have
doesn't have
plenty
a
of Smith
virus.
Corona.
No viruses. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this has got the pica. So I've, you know, as I've gotten older, I like the pica better. So. Let's see. A Corona. Oops. Let's do a little type sample real quick before we go. Oops.
So are any of you going to watch the PBS special coming up on the Ernest Hemingway?
Ooh, I didn't know about it.
You're not going to
No.
watch it? Yeah, it's
Is that
coming
to-
up, I think, in April, beginning of April sometime.
oh, that sounds good.
Well, can't really do it very well.
There should be some
Quickly.
pictures of typewriters in that film, I'm sure.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. That'd be fun to watch. Yeah.
And we've been watching Fargo, and the first couple seasons of Fargo had a lot of typewriters in it. I was surprised.
We'll have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, I think the second episode is they actually had the typewriter store starting up.
Oh yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to see typewriters, the show Endeavor is filled with them.
I like that show too, yes.
Yeah.
That's a good show. I like all that PBS stuff. I guess I don't know, feel my friend makes fun of me like I'm an old lady because I watch
Oh.
PBS shows. There's nothing good on ever.
I'm with you.
Oh, I love the documentaries on PBS. Yeah.
So
that
we just
masterpiece.
we just watched that new movie. What is it with? I just forgot the name of it. Anyway, that one where she's in a van driving around Arizona. Do you guys?
Oh yeah, the Nomad.
Nomad Land. Yeah.
Yeah,
thank
we
you.
watched
Nomad
that
Land.
on
Yeah,
our
that was a
trip.
good.
Yeah,
that was a good
pretty
film.
good.
Yeah.
I don't think I could live in my camper like I thought I could. I don't know if I can do it. Not like that.
Francis
Not in,
McDormand.
yeah,
Yeah.
not in the middle of nowhere like that. I can't do that. I have to have some power.
I think when she made that film, she actually lived in her van, real life for a
For
while.
real?
Just yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping to see a typewriter in there, and I
Should
didn't.
have
but-
been one. Yeah.
Yeah, there should have been one. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
There were some shenanigans going on in Indro's house there.
Uh-oh.
It's like, I can't believe you guys are still here.
Does the typeface look?
my
okay?
daughter, she's going home.
It looks good, but I think it does
Okay.
have an escapement issue because it's piling now. So,
Ah.
but it's really dirty, so I'm gonna.
It could be
clean
the
first.
spring motor or even the carriage bearings are just dirty,
Yeah,
right? You know?
I just
It's
need
the
to, I need to
spiders.
clean it. Yeah, there's spiders. It's really dirty inside.
Ziggy Stardust and the spiders from Mars.
Mhm. No, it's not, it types and then it piles every now and then. So I'll have to take a look at it and see.
Okay.
So we'll
Good
report
luck.
back next week.
It's going to be a candidate for rubber ducky time, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is definitely one of the, yeah. All right, guys. Well, it's been 4 hours. So.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to sign off
Yeah.
also.
Thank you for
Great,
another
All right.
4 hours
great
of your
chatting
life.
with you guys.
It was a blast.
Bye.
And
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye,
Joe,
everyone.
Ben, see you.
Bye.
See y'all later.
A great weekend.
Bye.
Yeah. See you.